Assalamu alaikum, folks. All right, ahlan wa sahlan. Let me just see. I take it we are live. Just going to bring up these comments section to see. Oh, what have I done here? Isn't that the whole? What have I done here? Is one could sum up life with those words. Allahu Akbar. Just checking that the sound is coming through. Let me just see. All right. What is. I thought, as I sat here today, right? I take it the sound's coming through. I'll let you guys give me some feedback on that. Till then, بسم الله إن الحمد لله وكفاه والصلاة والسلام على رسوله المصطفى وعلى عباده الذين ارتضى ومن بهداهم اهتدى وبآثار أهل المدينة اقتفى وبعد فسلام الله على القوم أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا. Right, so the sound is coming through fine, I see. Look at that. Ayyub al-Maliki, you're doing it. Mirza Saab, wa alaikum assalam. Theologisticity. Vah, shukran. Da'wah digital. All right, is that Allah, mustahsan, is it? Ahsan Allahu ilayk. Allah. Oh, ya salam, Kaleem Ustad ji. आप और यहाँ और इस समय क्या बात है यार. I've actually just, you know what, I thought, let's just get on there. Just see some beautiful souls that are awake at this godly hour and wherever they are, and let's get them on to say some salam and some kalam. That's really what it's all about today. It's a brief. I was thinking of just keeping it brief, really, and just having some salam. What I'm going to do is share out the link. Those of you that want to just jump on and यार ये कहाँ हो रहा है? There it is, people. See this IT, ये कब हमारे पल्ले पड़ेगा? When will we understand this, huh? This, in the words of the poet, हम अगर इश्क ना करते तो हुकूमत करते. Allah. People, it's a beautiful month. Every month is beautiful, and bil khusus, the month we're in. So, yeah, I've shared a link out there. I see some of you tuning in from Holland. Wah, kya baat hai. From Karachi. Allah, Habibi. Allah bless you. And I need a haircut. Yeah, there's many things in life. I'm not really fussed about the haircut right now. This is the least of my concerns. Right, so sorry, I said Mustahsan, Mahsin. Allah, Mahsin ji. Allah bless you always. Ahsan Allahu ilayk. Mustahsin is another version, if you like, of Mahsin. Mufti making an appearance like a Byronic character. कहाँ यार कहाँ, what, क्या महफिल. हमारे बाद महफिल में अफसाने बयां होंगे, बहारें हमें ढूंढेंगी, न जाने हम कहाँ होंगे. वाह. Right, so Bolton Sharif all the way. Yes. Zishan Ji from Islamabad. Allah bless you. Ameen. So, people, how are we, and what is it, what state do you find yourself in? Talk to me. Let's have some of you jump on live, share some thoughts. What's preoccupying your precious minds? You know, where are you in this? On the path of divine love, where do you find yourself? I'd been reading up actually quite a bit on just the kind of metaphysics that some of the great Muslim thinkers before us had been speaking about. And it's not, this isn't to, nobody truly knows the metaphysical nature of creation. We just theorize, I guess. And I was so I was looking into this because I'm always intrigued by this stuff. The conscious, the unconscious, the collective unconscious, the greater objective unconscious mind, creation. How does all of this work? The dimensions, is I don't know. Like this is something which this is really something that always intrigues me. But I was reading up on how Imam Shah Waliullah Dahlawi had really worked on those theories prior to him. See, because something people are unaware of when it comes to these legendary personalities like Shah Waliullah is he is such a celebrated figurehood within the Indian subcontinent that there's every group has tried to claim him and thereby rebrand him. So that's interesting because he is often, and I think what's won the I don't know if it's to say the culture war, but what's won from that, what's emerged from that struggle is this appearance of Shawliullah Dahlawi um, as a man who's very hadith centric. And I don't feel that that's actually true, that although he was a man of hadith literature and hadith sciences, and he unquestionably revived the studies of hadith literature within the Indian subcontinent. He wasn't, they were. It's like people always say, you always stand on the shoulders of giants before you. There was, Muhaddith Abdul Haq al-Dahlawi and other people before him, and the whole Dahlawi school, which is then we forget about. And there were people prior to him. You had Wali Muttaqi and many others who'd studied and had an effort in hadith sciences, Kanzul Ummal and all of this stuff going on in India. But Shah Waliullah Dahlawi emerges as this sun, which thereby eclipses the other bodies around him, just as history played out. And so people now, this part of him it shines so bright. And that's without a doubt. So my own, my chains in hadith studies in Bukhari, in Muslim, in the Muwatta, in all of these, the way I've read them from cover to cover, they go through Shawliullah Dahlawi, as does almost anybody through India. Although having just an ijaza, like I have an ijaza through Sidi Bu Khubza, through Abdul Hayy al-Kattani, and these are different chains. But really, the cover-to-cover studies we did, it all goes through, it's all through with the barakah of Shawliullah Dahlawi. But really, he was a man of great mysticism. And this side of his isn't accentuated as much. So he has many books which are in print, actually, many of which are in English. Despite the translations being here, there, but they are available, and you'll have his books like Al-Budur al-Bazigha, you'll have As-Sata'at, his Tafhimat, his Ilhams, and some books he written, like the Sata'at, he writes them just after having kashf, the veil is removed. He has access to a realm imperceptible to the human eye. And in this intuition and inspiration, he writes, but it's fascinating. So he's building on the works of people before him. And where I'm going with this is that, you see, they speak of, um, so you have really going back to people like Shihabuddin al-Suhrawardi, the Sahib al-Ishraq, the theorist on light. He really is one of the pioneers that starts carving out this metaphysics of how creation exists. And he speaks of these realms. And I'm sure he's not the only person, people before him, but he carves it into a theory. And then after him, you have uh, you know, Muhyiddin ibn Arabi, who really adds to that. He comes a generation after Suhrawardi, and then his student Qunawi, and then you have other people, Mullah Sadra and other people that come, and they add to all of this. And then Shawli al-Dahlawi, about 4 centuries ago almost. So they speak of, now check this out, they say that between the world of, if we can call it the world of spirits or the divine domain, and this world, the corporeal world, there is an intersection dimension, a dimension which exists, but it's not entirely spiritual and it's not physical. Like it doesn't have, it's incorporeal. It's not a world of bodies, but it is a world of qualities. So it's like in this world, color, for example, can't exist without matter. So, for, I don't know, let's say the color blue can't just exist unless it's an ard, in philosophy, an accident. They call it not an accident, but if the philosophical term accident. It is a property that occupies a space, a kind of, there must be an essence that it occupies. So then you see the color blue, you see the color black, you see okay, black and white, I get it, whether it's, but it's still always it's to do with how light is being reflected, absorbed upon objects, whatever they are in the visual field. So there must be bodies, if we can call them that, or entities that occupy these qualities. But they speak of this world which they call alam al-mithal. Some call it alam al-khayal, which is translated as the imaginal realm. And the imaginal realm is not from the word imagination, it's from the word image. And in this realm, qualities exist, but matter doesn't. But it has a representation. So it's like the world is an intersection between the world of spirits and the world of matter. And in that world, we all and everything has this kind of mithal, this kind of representation, and it may vary. And according to them, in that realm, there is the interaction of angels with us, with people, but our representations, whatever they may be. And this is the greater unconscious mind, if you like, that's to kind of repurpose some of that. This realm is the realm of the unconscious, and in it, things are not. So, for example, things can be symbolic, things can be metaphoric, they can be metonymic, they can be, so all of these things. So, that, and this is the world that we tap into when we dream, the imaginal realm. And so it's just fascinating that this concept, reading into how they're speaking of it, this alam al-khayal or this alam al-mithal. And they say that a lot of things are linked to that dimension. So Shawli Allah and other people are speaking of that even an aspect of the afterlife is linked to that world of this realm. And hence you will, when things are described Symbolically, that's what it's speaking about in the imaginal realm. So people who do adhan having these necks that are stretched, or people having a light, or people, the Hadith saying death appears as a lamb and is sacrificed. This is all part of the imaginal, to do with image, imaginal realm, in which we are all a part of. And the world of souls or consciousness, absolute consciousness, and even you could say alam al-arwah, and they have other realms. There is a connection at all times with people and all of this. So it is complex and complicated, but it's fascinating that these Muslim thinkers have had a stab at this, and they've really gone into it. It's just so wow. And I guess when people have kashf, when the curtain is moved for them, the veil, and they have this through divine intuition or by altering their state of consciousness, whether it's through meditation, through mindfulness, or even through things like psychedelics, that what happens is they have a glimpse into this imaginal realm where things are not quite how we see them in this world, and cause and effect is not how we see it in this world. And it's real, it's more real than this world, but it's somehow not tangible like this world, like the person who wakes from a dream, and the dream has experiences of touch and feeling and pleasure and pain and smells and sight and sound, but it's real, but somehow it's not in front of him or her. I just find this all so wow. Yeah, it's right, yeah. This is I was really gripped by all of this. So the mind wanders, huh? The heart wanders. Or in the words of the poet, Kuए yaar mein hoga kahin masroof e tawaf, dil agar seene mein hota to dharakta hota. Wah, wah. How are you all? What's more important, yaar? Yes, so somebody said, will I be taking some... Here, people, let me share the link again. Jump on live. Let's have some of you come on. Let's have a chat. I won't be on here too long, just about an hour today. And, then... Chalo, I was thinking maybe like a very tiny, quick little workout, and then sahur. What is going on, people? Yeah, I want to also say, whilst any of you are considering jump, Allah Zakaria, Allah bless you from the blessed land of Maghrib. Wow. Right, so did I share the link? Yes, I did. All right, so whilst you guys are tuning in, wherever you are, I have made two things. One, I did have a quick a brief reminder on some simple steps to make the most out of Ramadan. Very simple daily steps, simple but effective, in a brief ebook. So head over. So that's one thing. So what, if you'd like to get hold of the ebook. Secondly, I will be releasing more and more things, and eventually weekly. So after Ramadan, weekly, regular, I will have a kind of weekly share via email. So what I'd like you guys to do is sign up to that. So go to my website, www.muftiabulayth.com, people, and you can just sign up. So currently you can just sign up and it'll send you the ebook, but then I will be doing another ebook towards in a few days, actually, to do with how to make your dua come true, people. How to make your dua come true. Almost guarantee. Kya baat hai, huh? Guarantee utha li. So I'll be sharing that as well. But then after Ramadan, I will be sharing weekly, some kind of weekly thoughts with you guys. And so I'll be doing, and this will be exclusive by email, just a little brief something, could be whatever preoccupies my consciousness to share with you guys. So sign up to it now. Just go to let me put it in there. www क्या बात है यार Mufti Abu Layth.com .com man .com. There it is. So sign up to it, and then you'll be part of my email, my email group, which is really people who appreciate, this my kind of direction, my directionality, and people who are, who walk, who are accompanying me on this path and caravan. मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. Allah, Allah. Right. So, Allah bless you, Walker. Shukran, shukran. Allah bless you. So, we've got. Should I make Toba if my hairline is receding? If it's exceeding, receding, I'll share with you, chalo yaar, I'll share with you some thoughts on if you want to, if you want your hair to to be healthy. I can, it's like people say to me, Mufti, share some thoughts. I say, yaar, if I share them, it's not like you're going to do them anyway. छोड़ो यार बक रहा हूं जुनून में क्या क्या कुछ ना समझे खुदा करे कोई. This is, we are just, nobody's listening anyway. But chalo, if you really must, there are ways that you can, obviously. I mean, there's ways that you can just go and have surgery if that's something that really helps you, that you're at that stage. But for people who are not at that stage and just want natural remedies, there are techniques that do help. Part of it is your nutrition. So ensuring you're taking your daily vitamins, your vitamin B complex, biotin is an important one. NAC, NAC, taking that. Doing things like you get like a derma roller. You can have things like this. Use that. You can use minoxidil supplements. You can avoid. Personally, I would say avoid all shampoos. Sure, maybe just use something natural to wash your hair. Wash your hair regularly, but just avoid all shampoos. Now, if you just did the following, and if you did it daily, and maybe, once in a while just oiled your hair before, left it on, and then just washed it off, with something like castor oil and all kinds of oil, organic, your hair will certainly, within 6 months, you will see 3 to 6 months, you will see a palpable difference in your hair. But the problem is consistency. It reminds us the Hadith in Bukhari that, أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. That the most beloved actions are the most consistent. पर कहाँ होता है यार लोगों से? So, we just remain silent. Scorpio, Nora, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam. Scorpio, as always, a pleasure. Alaikum assalam. Anyone else from Brahm? Allah. There is Noor and Barakah from Brahm that is present right here on this live stream, people. Let me share. Okay, I missed a super chat. Let me just get to that. Sam Heedy, Allah bless you firstly for your super chat. Allah keep you smiling. What's your gym routine for Ramadan? sending positive vibes. Allah bless you, honestly. It is really, the goodness that a person puts out there, it comes back, 10x, 100x, it comes back to you. If you have this, you put out this positivity, Allah beams the light right back at you. That's what it is. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Love and light, people. Yeah, I mean, I have been trying to do some working out in Ramadan as well. It's not going to be as, um, sometimes consistent as out of Ramadan. It doesn't matter, but I do try. I'll get in there. I've just got half an hour in there. I've just got 40 minutes. I try to do it personally. I go late, so before sahur. And that's how I've been. Sometimes not even after, just late, like maybe midnight. I've just gone, done a quick session, come back. Yeah, sometimes not been able to go. But yeah, it is, it's good, whatever you can do. Whatever you can do. I mean. All right. Salam from Sweden, hand pink waving. I don't know what that is, but yeah. Shukran. Right, what is going on? Been to the gym. Right, Mark, you're doing it. Muhammad Umar, Mufti, stop being so happy. God, yeah. We're all, we're all, I'm telling you, our souls deep down are, everybody's soul is just happy. It ought to be, but it's so clogged up with this gham and hum of the dunya. That's when I was mentioning the metaphysics, and you see, you've got that, but then they speak of an alam al arwah, a world of souls, but that's just, we would say, a world of consciousness that with our different consciousnesses must be connected, and it's all at once. It's happening, and so yeah, I feel deep down there is just a pleasure of being. So Allah bless. Ameen. Right. Stop with the villain laugh. That's my laughter. Yeah. Ab main kya karu? What can I do? See, I've had a cough recently, which is well, not a cough, just a chest kind of build up. Yeah. Allahu Akbar. Sam, Mufti, what's your formula when it comes to dealing with haters? To be honest, if you reflect love and light, and you don't really get many haters. I don't think I have many people, or maybe if they're hating me, I don't see it. So occasionally you might just see somebody, just ignore it. Doesn't matter. But to be in all honesty, I mainly just see people just reflecting the love brought right back at me. Like if you smile, they say, when that thing we were taught as your kids, that when you smile, the whole world smiles back at you. It is in essence just that. But yeah, you will find some elements, just ignore. Sure, it doesn't matter. And I tell you, better than ignore. I try to, I'm not saying this always happens, but I try to hold myself to a standard that if I see somebody so miserable, or emanating some hate, I try to make a dua for them, a quick one, even if it's as quick, that Allah bless them. Sometimes it's hard on the nerves. But that's where the real, growth is taking place. You just say, Allah bless them. And you see, what you're doing is it's fascinating. There's a psychological study called the Open Consciousness Project, But they did a study where in areas they got people to kind of like collective large groups of people. And they do this study on where they get them to just be in this mindfulness, in this almost this collective meditation, but to kind of just think of love, to think of happiness, to think of just peace. And then they measured this over a series of days and how crime is in those areas during those days relative to days when that's not happening. And it's interesting that this correlation of where crime comes down and there's a sense of a greater sense of peace being felt by the greater collective. And these studies were carried out in Washington and a few other places. And I believe it's called the Open Consciousness Project. But there's a much more greater aspect to it where they're measuring it using quantitative data. But it's worth looking into. It's fascinating. Assalamu Anuri Sunnah. Allah bless you. Allah bless you for your super chat from the Nation of Islam. Wow. Did Nabi consider the Quranic characters to be literal historical figures opposed to metaphorical figures? And if so, does that entail that we must see them in a similar light? Shukran. Allah bless you. And you see, the historical figures in the Quran are, I mean, the mention of prophets and figures in the Quran are historical, and that's how the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have understood them. That's how, generally, for the most part, most people understand them. There are some people that have held a view that maybe that whether they are literal or not is it's kind of like a side point, and what's more important is the lesson you take from those narratives that were prevalent. That's not a view that I hold. It's not a view I see much strength in. I feel that they were real and their stories were then passed down to people, like the story of Moses and Joseph and Solomon and all these great prophets, Abraham and Jesus, and excuse me. But they're not so they're not mythical personalities. And I know some people do hold that, and I think there's been a discussion. I think this is what Dr. Javad alludes to as well, Javad Hashmi, that whether they were real or not, most likely they may not be real. Many of them they allude to. But regardless, it's the lessons that we learn that they point to the importance. But I would argue that they were real. And even if we don't have historical evidence, but they were real, and this is why. And it's fascinating, the stories that are passed down. I mean, there's a great book, The Edge of Memory, that speaks of the oral tradition being passed down for almost 10,000 years in certain stories in New Zealand, in Australia, etc. Right, let me see, we've got somebody on live. I'll bring them on. And remember, today's session is not going to be such a long live stream. I just wanted a let's have a kind of just as I was about to bring him on, there was some kind of, I don't know, a glitch, and it's disappeared. Right, I'll share the link again. Oh, there he is, back again. Assalamu alaikum, Zishan Khan. I can't hear you.
Walaikum assalam.
Allah, what a spectacular profile picture, yaar. Kya baat
Oh,
hai,
thank
yaar.
you.
Dashing, bahut hi dashing, yaar. I like it.
Thank you. Inspired by you, Mufti Saab.
Kya yaar, ye ronak ke bahar. Look
Actually,
at that, right?
you are my introduction to the Maliki mazhab, you know.
Oh wow. Okay. Do
Previously, I
tell
was
me
following
more.
Hanafi, you know. Me and my wife are following the Hanafis, but then we were looking for, other alternatives, and then we found
Mm,
you, and then we have been
wow.
following you on YouTube. constantly.
Allah. I'm honestly
So thank you so
touched, and
much.
Allah bless you and your wife's journey on in a greater backdrop or drop of this faith of Islam, but specifically the School of Medina, because
Yes,
you know
School
the
of
school.
Medina.
I was speaking to just somebody yesterday. Actually, I was just speaking to somebody
Right,
about the School of Medina, and they were saying that look, they've come across it and they're following it. This person was in he was of mixed heritage Muslim, but he in Spain when I was speaking to him. But the whole what I was saying is that, and I just as I say this, just day before yesterday, I was liaising briefly with some people from Bangladesh. You see, there's
right,
been this huge revival there of this School of Medina as well. And the same message, and it's to you as well, and to anybody that listens to it. This, the School of Medina will play an crucial role in binding people to this beautiful faith in our
right,
current times and the future, because it's so rooted in the tradition, so rooted in the tradition. It has unshakable, earthquake proof roots and foundations in the tradition, in the sunnah, in
right,
authenticity. It's because you just can't touch Imam Malik when it comes to hadith. It's just he's just too, he's untouchable. He's like so huge. But then this madhab has another foot anchored in in reason, in the voice of reason, because Imam Malik is also from Ahlul Ra'i. He's the people of
right,
reason. His Muwatta speaks this. He's even Ibn Qayyim and all these other people say, you can't deny Imam Malik is from the people of reason. And another foothold, if you like, or another anchor point is rested in maslaha, welfare of people.
right,
And it's that this deen is always seeking welfare. And then another anchor is in the objectives of the Sharia, maqasid of the Sharia. And you put this together, and then I would say a final anchor point, it doesn't have to be a final, but in this point, a beautiful anchorage is in the diversity, celebrating diversity. It is one of the few traditions within Islam where people are so different, but yet they celebrate the diversity. Ibn Abdul Bar brings these quotes in his Istithkar. He brings that where where the scholars are saying of this school that look, it doesn't matter if a person does this, it doesn't matter if like you go with, we celebrate it all. Like the Maliki of the East had a different tradition, the Maliki of the West had a different tradition. It all goes back to Medina.
But
It's
Mufti Sahib, the
yeah.
problem which we are facing in Pakistan is there are no Malikis. There are almost no Malikis. Although I have found some
Yeah.
Malikis,
Oh, okay.
Maliki Bade Saghir. There are some actually. I was very fascinated that they are in the side of Okada. If you have heard about this place in Pakistan,
Okada.
so
Is
they
that
are
in
over there.
Punjab?
Yes,
Oh,
that's in Punjab,
right.
ahead of Lahore.
Okay.
So there
Oh,
are
right.
some,
Okay,
but very
Mars.
few. So like if we
Wow.
want to practice, like we want to get our answers according to the Sharia. So we don't have
Yeah.
muftis as such, because I want to
Mm,
establish the School of Medina in Pakistan because I'm in
wow.
Islamabad. So I really want this people to know about it. I've been telling people about it because I'm so fascinated by it. So how should we, get across to any scholar like you? Because you give so satisfactory answers. My wife is actually having OCDs about the wiping of the head, and she has also posted the question from Facebook. So during
Right.
wuzu, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the Hanfis allow the only the 1/4 of the hair. Sometimes we get these things that our wuzu was not proper according to the Maliki sect.
No, no,
So
they
what should we
are.
do?
Absolutely. So just very briefly on the wudu point, straight away, you see, true, although the Malikiya say like you wipe over all the head, as in the whole of the
Right,
head, what they don't mean is the whole of the hair. They mean as in, what is the sunnah practice? So if my head, let's say the forehead starts here and it
Right.
technically goes back to the end, of the skull there, they mean like when you're wiping with the hands, where should the hands go to? So, so for example, some people say you do this. So
Right.
my hands have gone to the crown of the head. That's it. Then they've kind of
Right.
lifted. And some
Right.
people would say, no, like the Prophet himself, he kind of, the hands went right to the back. So
Right.
this is what they mean by the whole of the head, generally speaking, broadly
Okay.
speaking. What they don't mean is the whole of the hair. So that's not. And this is to do with the masa, not to do with the coverage. So it's not that you're covering. It's more, where do the hands go? So
Okay.
at what point do you raise your hand? So do I just go like this? Or do I go like this? Or do I go like that? So they were saying, well,
Okay.
the sunnah was to go like that.
Okay.
That's all. So it's not um so don't, definitely it's not about, do not let any OCD come. And in fact, the Maliki madhab are so uh, very like, they're very clear in trying to stomp out any waswasa, and they often
Right.
refer to this term as mustankah. In a lot of the Maliki books, they'll refer to the person as kind of mustankah. Now, one may say, why are they using this word? It commonly comes in the Maliki books, but it refers to a person who has this kind of waswasa. He gets
Right.
OCD. OCD is against the nature of the deen. So wherever you get OCD, feel content to ignore and go against. So
Okay.
they will often say a mustanka person, that part of it doesn't even apply. As in, you do whatever you can on that, whatever that part is where they're having OCD. So if a person feels, oh my God, did I miss a bit? Oh my God, is there a certain part of my hand that remained right? No, we ignore this stuff. Okay. Imam Malik was
Okay.
very clear on keeping things always natural in Islam.
Right.
And in fact, this was one of the things, when I first embarked on the School of Medina about probably about 25 years ago, that I was.
Mhm.
So I started, one of the things that I actually struggled with in the beginning. When I say struggled, because it was a transition, because in the Hanafi school, everything is very highly structured, as in highly defined. Like, how do you
Yes,
stand in
that's that
salat? The feet must be, yeah,
exactly,
exactly,
exactly.
exactly. So
You're
it's
so
so,
right about it.
yeah. So the thing is, everything is so like, they're so not, and I'm not trying to diss them, but they're so uptight that
No, no, with
everything
due
must,
respect.
yeah, with all, I'm not trying to be dismissive, but they're so prescriptive, like
Right.
everything, like when you stand, there must be 4 fingers gap between your feet. When you hold your hands, one thumb goes over, one comes finger, the pinky comes round, these
Exactly
three
like
go
that.
on top. This. Now, when you do takbir, the thumbs must be with the
Earlobes.
earlobes, and you must then exactly bring your hands down. And the Maliki school is like, so you now, as a Hanafi, I was asking these questions. Oh, how do I do takbir? Do I go they say, just go like, Allahu Akbar. Oh, but where do my hands go to? Do they stop here? Do they stop here? Just do Allahu Akbar. And you're like, okay, where do I put my hands in salah? Now, obviously, the
Yeah.
Maliki have, you hang them by the side or you fold them. Okay, let's say you fold them. Okay, you hang them by the side, or let's say you fold them. Now, if you fold
Right.
them, how do I hold my hands? Do I go, oh, kayfa matafaq, however it comes together? You're like, what? Oh yeah, you can put it there. Yeah, you can put it. Can I put it there? Yeah, you can put it there. Do what do I do? Just do whatever goes easy. And you're thinking, okay, how do I stand? How much gap should there be between my feet? Oh no, you just stand as you stand naturally. And this naturalness, in the beginning, it was difficult for me, because I was coming from this understanding that everything has finite detail. So now I'm coming to this kind of almost like a
Open
very
area.
chilled, yeah, this chilled vibe. This kind of like,
Yes.
oh, just be easy, just relax. and I couldn't be relaxed. I was too uptight. I was like,
That's the point, you know. Yes, you're right. You exactly touched on the point that we can't be relaxed because we are used to so much details.
yeah. So like somebody said, no micromanagement. Exactly. So I was struggling with this not being, and it took me, like wudu. Wudu is another thing. So
Right,
Imam Malik, when he's asked, like you'll see this is a central theme, by the way, right through ibadat, that this go easy, kind of chilled, like you don't kind of go in with detail. So when Imam Malik's even asked, like, how many times do you wash the limbs? Like in the Mudawwana, he doesn't even say like 2-3 times. He just says, yeah, just wash it when it's done, it's done. And you're
right.
like, but sure. I mean, there's, sometimes they say, yeah, you could do it 2, you could do it 3. I'm not saying don't do it 3 times. What I'm saying is they don't have this, like when you're in salah, let's say you're in ruku and you're doing tasbih, say subhan rabbiyal azim. How many times do you say it? Malikiya don't say anything. They just say, no, you just say it.
Number of times. I
Okay.
saw your video
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
prayer.
yeah. Just say it a couple of times. It's good. Should I say it 3 times? Should I? Sure, if you want. And it's like, so it does take, there's this acclimating, and they're very chilled. Like you can say dua in salah. You can in sujood, you can make any kind of dua. You can say
Yes,
a
in
dua in
your
any
own language.
language.
That's a
You
distinctive
can say it in
quality of the School of
Urdu. You can
Medina.
say it in English. You can say it in,
Right.
uh,
We like
and you
this
can
very
make,
much, you know.
yeah, and you can make dua about anything. I could make dua. Ya Allah, I really want that phone. Ya Allah, I can. There's nothing. Now, I know in some schools that's discouraged. First of all,
Yes,
in
it's
other
discouraged in
schools,
all the three schools.
yeah,
In the
yeah,
other
yeah,
three schools,
like,
it's totally discouraged.
yeah, like you don't, first of all, in the Hanafis and others, you're not allowed to speak in another language. It breaks the salah. But you're
Yes,
you're discouraged also to make dua for worldly stuff. Like they say that you
that's in
you only make,
Hanfis.
yeah, the Hanafis would say you make du'as which are in the Quran, for example, or in the Sunnah, but you don't
Yes,
make.
they say that.
Uh, but then the Maliki madhab, the school of Medina, says, well, actually, the Sahaba would make du'a. They say we would make du'a for an apple. We would make du'a for a shoelace.
Right.
In the Shirak and Na'al, like you see some of them saying that we would make. If I needed a shoelace, I would ask Allah, Ya Allah, I need my shoelace sorted out. And so the point is that it's as personal as you want to make it. You want to keep it
Right.
generic, keep it generic. You just want to ask khair dunya wal akhirah, you ask khair dunya wal akhirah. You want to
Right.
just say ask for guidance, you ask for guidance. You want to say ask for good health, you want to ask something very specific. Ya Allah, I'm going through this test, I'm trying to apply for this job. Ya Allah, make it happen for me. Or Ya Allah, I'm in this, having some relationship issues, make it easy for me. Or Ya Allah, this happened, make it easy. You can. It's your salah. It's your, hablullah. This
Very
kind of,
personalized relation with Allah. Very personalized relation with
yeah.
Allah.
Yeah. And
So,
as to
so
your,
Mufti Sahab,
yeah.
can we, like as Malikis, can we make our wuzu like Shafis or Hanfis and then pray like Malikis? Will the School of Medina allow this?
Yeah, I mean, when we say that, what is the difference anyway? Like when we're saying the wudu, what is the? Because you'll find usually, to be fair, you'll find because the Maliki madhab is so vast, you find that it has all, like they have all these other opinions in it as well.
Okay, so
And
there
I
is an
don't,
opinion
yeah, of what, which is the specific
about the
thing? Like,
wuzu, that if we can make a wuzu like Shafis or Hanfis and then pray like Maliki, so they allowed that? Is it allowed in the Maliki
yeah,
Mazhab?
yeah, 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 yeah. So this would be allowed, but what would you see different with the wudu of the Shafi'iyya? I'm just out of curiosity. What's the
It
difference
is
that you're?
just the wiping of the head, because somebody told my
Oh, right.
wife that
Okay.
you
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
performed the sunnahs, so your wuzu
yeah.
was not proper. The Maliki told my wife that you haven't performed the sunnahs in the prayer, in the wuzu properly, so your
What was
prayer
the
is,
sunnah
you have
missed
to
out?
repeat your prayers.
No, no, no. What
This
was the
wiping,
sunnah
the
missed out?
bringing the hand again in the wiping, bringing it again,
No, this, yeah,
back
this
again,
is a clear, yeah,
and
this
the
clear
ears, and
ikhtilaf.
washing the and wiping the ears. This thing, she didn't
This,
do
this,
that.
this, I'm pretty this clear ikhtilaf of the I'm sure who brings it, yeah. Does brother I bring it in his tahdib, or it's the Iraqiyin? Because there's, yeah, is it Ibn Jalab, I believe. But they have
Right.
this difference anyway, that you don't have to bring the hands back, that according to some Malikis. But the majority, okay, they'll say, okay, you take it off. But look, in all honesty, that if a person did this,
Right.
masa is done. Sure. Now,
Okay, that's
many people would
enough.
say, "Oh, you bring it back." Yeah, masa is
Right.
done, because that's technically that's what the Quran states. "Wamsahu bi ru'usikum." That was the practice of the Prophet. Now, some people say, "Well, okay, the Prophet brought it back as well." Other people, like the Hanafi, and they will say that bringing it back is a lesser sunnah. It's a
Hmm.
lesser. It's not the same as wiping it that way. So,
Right.
for example, the Hanafiya may say, well, wiping a certain part is an obligation, but
One
wiping
fourth.
the
They
whole
say one
part,
fourth.
1/4, yeah, the kind of nawasi, what they call the nawasi. So,
Right.
wiping that is sunnah, sorry, obligation. But then they'll say
Obligatory.
wiping this whole thing is the sunnah mu'akkada. But then they'll say bringing it back is a lesser sunnah. You
Right.
see, so because on the bringing it back, there is some dispute, and some of the Malikiya, it's this morning time of sahur, but I've got the
Mhm.
whole thing in my, I'll tell you what, I will make accessible. I've got like detailed classes on my Risala of Ibn Abi Zayd, very detailed, with so much khilafiyat of the madhab in there. I will start trying to make them available. You know what the problem was? I need somebody to kind of sort out some screen recording for them, because the issue was that at the time I did them on this platform that saved them as an application. So the
Okay.
problem is that they're not a video file. So to run it, you have
Okay.
to run it like an application, and then it appears like a
Application.
video. But then,
Okay.
so I guess I need them converted, which would be screen recorded into a video file, so I can share them. So in
Great.
the past, I tried sharing them by kind of screen capturing and then live streaming it to YouTube, and then therefore it turned it into a video file. But and then I just got lazy doing it. But I went through a lot of detail on all of this, and so this ikhtilaf in the Maliki madhab in the text, I'm just trying to think from the top of my head. I think it is Ibn Jalab, but from the Iraqiyin. But I could be maybe it's not him, but it's definitely there. The khilaf is there in
It
the
is
Eastern
someone is
Malikiya.
there.
Yeah,
In the
it's
Maliki,
definitely
someone is
in the
there.
Malikis. Yeah, somebody's there. The Maliki are so diverse. Not only is somebody always there, somebody's always also out there.
Yes, that's the beauty,
Where
because we do find an
everybody's
opinion
here,
sometimes.
and everybody's here,
That's
and
the
the
beauty of
Maliki
it,
are
it's the
everywhere,
beauty.
and
It's the
there's a
beauty
few
of the
Malikis out
Malikiya.
there.
A few Malikis out there, when I listen to you and you give a second opinion and you say, although it's a minority opinion, but it does exist, it makes it so beautiful that, there's so much diversification in the school,
And we
which
shouldn't.
I don't
Yeah,
think there are other schools which have so much of diversity in
no,
it.
they
Like
don't.
the
No, they
Shafis,
don't.
they have a definite
They don't.
opinion.
They
They say
don't.
Muttamid
Yeah,
opinion, of the
yeah,
school.
and
Imam Shafi says something.
yeah, and it's not, other schools had some diversity, but they weren't as far spread out geologically. So because the
Right,
Malikiya were the only ones with sub schools everywhere, so they had, for example, in the east, you had in the Hijaz with Medina and in the Hijaz region,
right.
and then you had in the Middle East, which would be Iraq, mainly in Basra, in Baghdad,
Iraqis,
in the Iraqiyin, starting with
Iraqi.
Qadi Ismail ibn al-Muntab. You've got all these great al-Abhari, and all these great kind of like legends emerge. Abdul Wahhab al-Baghdadi. You're going to have so many up there. Ibn al-Qassar and all these,
Right.
the whole great school. But then you had the Egyptians, the Misri
Okay.
school, which starts with the students of Malik, and then you had the the Maghrabis, which
Maghareba.
would the Maghariba, yes. So you'll have the whole school of Fez and the school of Tatwan and the school of Maknas, and all this going on here. Mazari and Lakhmi and all these great people are over there.
Right.
Abu Imran al-Fasi and all these great people, and then you've got the Andalusis. the Spaniards, the Muslim,
Europe.
and they were very different in their own. And what happens is the different schools start to adopt a different flavor. So the Eastern Iraqi lot, because they live with the majority Hanafi,
Yes.
when the Hanafis are always usul centric, so they are the first Malikis to come up with usul. Ibn al-Qassar's Muqaddimah is the first usul, and their fiqh is always usul centric, because that's who
Acha.
they're dealing with, Hanafi. Yeah, so Abdul Wahhab al-Baghdadi is always saying, when he's arguing, wal asal fi dhalik, and he goes back to the usuli principles.
Usul.
So because they're rivaling the kind of Hanafis
Hanafis.
who are very usul centric. And then what
Right.
you get is, like, as an example, you'll get the Maghrabis, who were usually just Maliki. They didn't have any rivals with them, so they end up going inwards. So a lot of them is about, when Malik said this, what do you think he meant? Do you think he meant makruh? Do you think he meant haram? Do you think a lot
Right.
of it is the internal dissents within the Maliki kind of things? They're writing all these big books on the elaborate dissents, Lakhmi's, Tabsira, and all these great books are being written. Now, the Andalusis, they developed this unique flavor of becoming very hadithi, but Maliki at the same time. So you get all these
Right.
great hafiz of hadith, Ibn Waddah, you're going to get Qadi Iyad, Qadi Abu Bakr ibn Arabi, Ibn Rushd.
Shafi influence.
No, not exactly. So they're not actually leaving the Maliki principle, but they're bringing this other flavor,
Hadith.
of hadith, that they're very
Right.
also, they're doing commentaries on hadith books, they're hafiz of hadith. So it's interesting now. And then they all start, they remain to respect each other. Now
That's the
that's
beauty.
something rare. Yeah, that's difficult in other madhabs. So in other madhabs, you do have the khilaf, but they override each other. Like they say, look, listen, don't worry about what they say. This is how we do it.
Yes.
But
That's
in the Malikiyah, they stopped short of saying that. So they would just say, our ashabun al-Iraqiyin say this, but we say this. They wouldn't say they're wrong. So they
they are
would just
wrong.
stay. And then you
They will
see
respect their opinion.
and I feel that there was this maverick, there was this spirit that allowed some people to go completely out there with their opinions. Now, you may find that some people find that weird and scary, but I find it interesting, because sometimes they'll have really out there opinions, like, but they're based on their own logic. Now, you could disagree with them. So you'll find, for example, the Malikiya Salah, they're one of the early schools saying, for example, that covering yourself is separate to the ruling of Salah. Now, you should cover yourself at all times, therefore you should cover yourself in Salah.
During
But
Salah also.
what if a person wasn't covered in Salah? Now, they're one of the earliest, the Iraqis said, well, it's a fard Islami, walaysa min shuruti sihhati Salah. It's not from the
Applies to prayer.
fara'id of, so the Salah remains valid. And you're like, okay. And so you're going to get these interesting kind of this diversity, but you can't speak.
So why don't you make a video about it? About the different opinions and the difference of opinion in the Malikis, the four schools. So why don't you make a video about it?
I will, I am going to. I've been trying to get more active on this, and I'm also going to, inshallah, I want to also do certain courses on the madhabs, especially the Malikis, but I think especially, this kind of, because I think this comes to your other question. There needs to be certain, resources for people to learn. And I see that the light of the School of Medina is now shining far and wide in the globe.
Yes, it's going. It's coming in the subcontinent. Why don't you visit Pakistan someday? Please let me know.
I
I
will,
will love to host you.
inshallah. I will, inshallah, let's do it, at some point. I mean, I feel that
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And I, by the way, I don't know if you're in touch with Sheikh Sidi Iqbal. Are you in touch with Sidi Iqbal?
No, I'm not in touch with anyone. You are the face of Malikis for me only, and that's
so
online.
So Sheikh Sidi Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal, he's a great Maliki, one of my teachers. I'm going to get him on another Mind Trap. I've had him on one. He is in the UK, originally Pakistani as well. Slightly older to me as well, like maybe about 10 years my senior in that sense, and he is very learned, and he does speak Urdu as well. He also teaches people. He hosts these classes. He actually does every. He that man is. May Allah bless him. He for as long as I've known him, he does everything for free. He does not charge
Oh,
anybody. He does not charge. He refuses to accept, money. The man, wallahi, and he has a very spiritual presence as well. And
wow, wow,
so
that's amazing.
I know he teaches classes on the Maliki fiqh every week. He's very humble, like he keeps himself to himself. He is on Facebook, but he's not very, if you look in one of my mind traps, you'll see him there. Muhammad Iqbal, but I'm going to do
Muhammad
another
Iqbal.
mind trap with him as well. And if you also connect with him, he may do some things in Urdu. There was another person, a fellow student of knowledge, um, a doctor who had started as well, doing some things in Urdu for the Maliki method, but I don't know where it got to. He's originally from Hyderabad.
I have a version of Matan al Aghdari, in Urdu. Somebody sent me. I got in touch with these people in
Okay,
Pakistan, and they have translated this book into Urdu. I have it with
so
me.
this one is Dr. Majid. He's from Hyderabad, Deccan in India, original, as in he's
In
born in
India,
the UK. Yeah, he's born in the
right?
UK, but he's Urdu speaking, and he started doing some things in Urdu and putting them online. But I don't know how far it got to. But yeah,
I
so
have
I
no
think
idea
that
about it.
there needs to be a greater effort. Yeah, but
Yes,
I'm
I
so
think there
glad
needs
you
any help you need, Mufti Saab, in this regard. I'll be there for you.
Allah bless you. Drop me a message on Instagram as well, and I'll stay in touch and I'll kind of connect you, inshallah, on WhatsApp. I'll send you my WhatsApp number and we'll stay connected.
Yeah, I will need that. So I should get in touch with you on Instagram.
Instagram, yep. And just
Because
drop
I'm
me a
not on
message.
Instagram. I use Facebook. I
Are
use
you not?
Facebook. I have messaged you on Facebook
It's just,
also.
yeah, I don't check my Facebook as much.
Okay.
That's the only
So
problem. Uh,
I'll make Instagram
Or,
account.
or you
I'll
know what?
come on.
Or what you can do, yeah, if you can. Otherwise, if you sign up on my website,
Right.
you'll get the ebook coming from the email, and then just respond to the email saying it's you, Zishan Khan, and to contact you, and I can get your number from there and send you a message on
Sure,
WhatsApp. I
Mufti
can do it
Saab.
that way.
That will be great.
Sure. Okay,
May Allah
Zishan,
bless
it's
you.
been a pleasure. Shukran. Allah
Pleasure
bless
talking
you.
to you. Thank you,
Likewise.
Mufti
Assalamu
Saab. May
alaikum.
Allah bless you. Wa alaikum assalam.
Ameen. Wow, what a pleasant discussion. Um, and really, wow, the whole hour's been, I did say, I really did wanna get out there, do a quick, I don't know, but we've got some people. I should do a quick meet and greet, shouldn't I? We've got a few people here. It's not fair they've been waiting, but let's try to keep it slightly brief. We've got Sadid. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. How are you? Can you hear me?
Alaikum salam. I can, Sadid. Allahu Akbar. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Malaysia.
Malaysia.
I belong
Wow.
to Bangladesh, actually. I was
Allah
born and brought up in
bless.
Bangladesh. So, but
Okay,
I'm joining you
wow.
from Malaysia.
Allahu Akbar. What a name, Yar Sadid. The one
Yeah,
on point.
on the point.
Sadid on
Paulu
point,
Shadidan,
yeah.
I don't remember the verse.
Yeah,
Uh,
so Shadid with the sheen is Shadid with the scene with the sheen is about strength, like strong,
Strength.
and and with the scene, so it may be that it's originally Shadid, but with the scene, Sadid is like when something is just on point, like an arrow, that just something that hits the target. Sadid, you know so it's
Yeah,
like on point. So they'll describe the being like on target. As the poet says, فَلَمَّا اسْتَدَّ سَاعِدُهُ, that when his forearm, like when he used to practice shooting an arrow, and obviously in the poem he's saying that when he got really good he shot me, but he says فَلَمَّا اسْتَدَّ سَاعِدُهُ رَمَاني. فَلَمَّا اسْتَدَّ is from the verb sadid, istadda.
Ye-
Yeah.
yes, Mufti, brother. I am really amazed to see the kind of wisdom and knowledge you have. You went on to describe some poetry and adding,
कहाँ
attach
यार
wisdom to
you
it.
आप ये this is all your आपका जलवा है it's
Yeah,
your
yeah, yes,
जलवा है
yeah.
Allah
And
Allah so yeah talk
yeah,
to us Sadid what's going
yeah,
on
whenever I talk to my friends, I always
yeah
recommend them to view your videos
okay Allah
because
bless you
you are really the most logically understood people in my humble view, because I follow your videos and I have been in, I'm really amazed by the knowledge you have, and more than the intent of asking you the questions, I've always been excited to, join you. I think a few months
shukran
back I had joined you, but this is the second time. I just miss you.
yeah
You just slip away. I don't know when you come on live, and I
Allah
just,
bless you honestly
yeah,
do
I've
you know
been,
what I want to first of all just say that shukran honestly your words they say what comes from the heart touches the heart. And honestly, I can just make dua for you. Allah bless you always. I do sometimes. I think, yeah, I hope my my ego
uh, uh,
doesn't get too inflated. These
yes,
things we have to watch our egos. But I really, honestly, I. It's not. It means a lot. It does mean a lot because yeah, like you see actual people, real words. It's not just like sometimes you see a message, you see a comment, which are amazing and beautiful, but a real person, a real voice. It's like Allah, Allah, Allah. It has a
yes,
magic
brother.
to it. So shukran,
It's
shukran,
absolutely.
and just before I forget, make sure you do, go on my website and sign up with your name. I mean, you'll get the ebook, but you'll also just become part of my kind of weekly emailing list. So I will always,
Websites.
yeah. So go to when you get a chance, do go to muftiabulaith.com.
Okay.
And you can just sign up. Like you just put your name and email, and it'll just give you a brief ebook I wrote for making the most of Ramadan. But what it will do is it will add you to that list. So I will always be in touch with you personally as I'm writing
Oh,
emails
Alhamdulillah.
weekly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it will
Yeah, yeah, I will
keep
definitely
you.
do that because
Yeah,
you don't know how
like
much I follow you. So I will most certainly be doing that. I had pressed
Allah,
the bell button. I don't know when you come live and when you go away. You just slip away from my hand. Today,
Allah, Allah,
Alhamdulillah.
yaar. You just summon me from your heart and soul.
Yes, yes,
Hazir
yes.
ho
And
jayenge, yaar. I'll be there. Labbaik
even
wa
now, I
sa'daik.
did not get the notifications. I just
But the
came
soul
to
knew.
your YouTube by my
You
own
see,
effort. Like I search your name and then I
Allah,
see you live and I joined.
Allah, Allah. You see, the hadith says, Al arwah junudun mujannada, that the souls are connected. Well,
Yeah,
whether,
yeah.
they are connected. You see, people, we have intuition at times. This is the soul kind of whispering to us. So
Yes, because of
Allah,
right,
Allah
right.
bless you.
Well, minor correction. I think I pressed the bell button from another account, but this
Okay.
YouTube the channel the account I'm using, I did not get the notifications because I think the bell button was being pressed from another account. So just
I see.
to correct, do the minor correction here.
No,
Mufti,
sure.
happy Ramadan
Yeah.
first of all, and
Shukran.
it's been a
Hayyak
blessing
Allah.
month. In my humble view, it's the best month of the entire year.
Ameen.
Mufti,
Ameen.
if I may discuss with you on something like the zikr, okay,
Yeah.
like we fast uh, for our spiritual benefit.
Mhm.
However, in your opinion, do you think that our mind also need to fast? I mean, to
Mm.
keep away from brazen thoughts. That because the thoughts, so many numerous thoughts come to your mind, like a bad thing that had happened to you in the
Mhm.
past comes to you in the form of flashbacks. So while we're doing fasting
No.
spiritually and physically, abstaining from water, food, so on and so forth, I mean anything edible. Uh, so in my humble view, do you think that our mind also needs to fast? If so, then how? How do
No.
you reflect on this? I don't know if my question is valid or not, but
No, no, no,
uh,
no. It's
uh,
entirely valid. Um, I mean, unquestionably, the fasting is a cleanse. It's a cleanse at many levels. It's operating at many levels. It's operating at a physical bodily level. It's we're fasting, not flooding our system with toxins. It's cleansing out. It's allowing the liver to regenerate in a healthy way. The kidneys. It's boosting our immune system. It's trying to correct our insulin kind of reaction status. It's working in many ways at a bodily level, but it's also teaching us that, you see, we're not as dependent. I mean, we are dependent on food, but we're not as dependent as we think. Because, you see, what it's teaching us is that yes, we need food, but we have an over dependency on food, which we will still be very healthy and fine without a lot of that. So there's a shift, or hopefully, there's an attempt to shift that dependency from that to Allah. Now, you see, I want to say that, yes, so there's a physical level, there's a mental level, a psychological level of cleanse, of this dependence, of trying to, when you can remember, to be mindful, some mindful. In fact, one of the things I said in the ebook was that if you could practice maybe 2-3 minutes of mindfulness, you could do it in the morning, you could do it at any point in a day. You just sit there, just to and with it, some breathing, like one of the ways is the 4-4-6 method, that you just kind of breathe in for like a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, and you breathe out for a count of 6. That this Allah, you see, like this, even for 2 minutes, that's not long, 120 seconds. And where a person just tries to focus on, like, let me just think of one thing I can be grateful for. Just one let me just zero in on it. Some color to it, some detail. I'm grateful for this. If we could even do that, if we can do it once a day, maybe we forget some days, just do it the days you can remember. It starts to bring about a self-consciousness, this new awareness of you, this appreciation. This thing I mentioned in the ebook as well, of trying to refrain, avoiding negativity. And negativity is avoiding negative people, avoiding negative thoughts if you can, negative actions like backbiting people, speaking bad about people. I mentioned in that ebook that some scholars said, like Imam Awza'i said, if you backbite, your fast is invalid. I'm not saying that is the case, but I'm just giving you an example how far some ulama went. So just having look, and this, what I want, and I want to kind of wrap this in this, what I'm about to say now. This is a journey. Some Ramadans, it may not happen. Like, we may be in a low state. Some Ramadans, we may be terrible. It may happen, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you that I say this, that I found myself in some previous Ramadans at a very low, spiritually. And like, I'm just being very honest about it, that I think sometimes I had a thought even, well, ayadu billah, that this is a burden. Like, I felt like this is a burden. Like, when is it over? And, well, ayadu billah, but it happens to everyone, don't like, but what, that time will come that you will see the blessing in Ramadan, that you will think, yeah, this is, because some said, like, just the other day, like, I was doing something and I was thinking, like, wow, it's such a relief that this is going to sound weird. I was thinking, it's such a relief. We don't have to eat right now. We can just be focused on other things. And we're doing, as a duty. So my point was that sometimes we will be at spiritual lows, but we will, I'll tell you, this is me as a person. It doesn't mean that it has to, but the brief talks, the lectures of there's a sheikh by the name of Maulana Suleiman Misbahi Saab. I came across his lectures about a year ago, just actually in last Ramadan, and what they did to my iman overall, and what he did to me spiritually, that he will never truly understand how he's helped me, and Allah bless him infinitely. And maybe his words, because they just strike a chord with me, maybe they help. I'm sure they do help thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands. Maybe for somebody else, it's somebody else. It's somebody else's words. But whatever it is, if you do find yourself at a low, it's okay, like, inna ma'al usri yusra.
After
The
every
high,
hardship comes the ease.
there will be a beautiful time that will come as well. That don't worry. It's the nature of insan. Sometimes we fall low, but it doesn't matter. This is a reminder of we need to keep climbing.
Yeah, there is also another reason I asked this question to you. It's because I stumbled onto a verse in Holy Quran that's it says, whoever turns a blind eye to the reminder of the most compassionate, we place at the disposal of each of them evil one. We place at the disposal of each a devilish one as their close associate, like in this Quran 43:36. So I was thinking on it. That means whoever gives away the remembrance of Allah, Allah appoints him an evil companion. So it means that we need to be, in my understanding, actually, I want to learn from you. You will correct me if I'm mistaken. I was reflecting on this verse. So what I have understood, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it probably meant that we need to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly.
Sure.
And if we, if there is a gap, some brazen thoughts come into mind, and then we lost into the ways of the world, we engage ourselves in so many things, and so many dirty food of the brain food fed, and gets into the mind, like somebody say useless things to you, and you think over it. He has, like, your friend has a problem, your friend A has a problem with friend B, and you're thinking about that, and all of this kind of keeps me, or it could keep any person busy, in terms of uh, how he is thinking. However, Allah says in the Quran that whoever turns a blind eye blind eye to the remembrance of the most passionate, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will appoint evil one. So this verse is also kind of making me think. So like I sleep for about 6-7 hours, and then I also have to do some of my stuffs, and then at the same time, so uh, I want, if I may ask you of your opinion. So if we do the zikr, the remembrance of Allah constantly, how should we do that? Like, no, let me ask this question in another way. Like, okay, I'm thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and maybe someone is doing the zikr, but at certain point in time, he might slip away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because maybe his friends come to him, talk to him, and then he engages his mind to something else, worldly affairs. So how do you invent a tactic to remember him constantly?
You see,
So that's
no,
why I asked this question.
you see, okay, so dhikrullah, dhikr in Arabic can, amongst its meanings, can have two types of meanings. One is the remembrance, as in the utterance, like in the Hadith, dhikruka akhaka bima yakra, that you speaking of your brother in a way that he dislikes. Now, dhikruk here, it means you speaking of, uttering. So some people, this is one understanding of dhikrullah. Like I say, Ya Allah, Ya Latif, La ilaha illallah. I'm doing dhikr, I'm uttering, the utterance and the speaking of Allah's names and praises. The other term of dhikr is to be mindful of, like to be in the mind, to remember of. But not remember of as in you've forgotten. That's one meaning as well of dhikr. فَذَكَرَ, he remembered. But another one is to be in the mind, as in you've brought that back to your attention, to be mindful of. Like we say, ذكركم. You see, now Allah, now some people have understood that to say, oh, maybe Allah mentions you. But another way is Allah is in a divine way mindful of you, as in watching over you, you see. So dhikr can mean these two, amongst its many meanings, these two things, that you, the utterance of Allah's names, but also a mindfulness of God, just to have this mindfulness. Now, we're not all like, look, you see, we have to remember, you're not mandated to always be mindful
Instead of
of,
zikr.
yeah, you're not in this state of, this heightened state of awareness, this very conscientious
But those are the
consciousness.
loopholes where
But
what do you say?
sure, you
Uh,
could aspire
miscellaneous
to,
thoughts mind
but insan
might
is
find way into.
not going to be at that level most of the time. Insan will, and this is fine, even in the hadith in Bukhari, you'll have that they will say that, oh, we would, when we'd be amongst our friends or amongst our loved ones or amongst they would say our wives or amongst our children, that we would be so immersed we'd forget about God. This is the Sahaba would say. And then sometimes they would feel guilty about this. So when they would ask the Prophet said, nah, sa'atun wa sa'a. Says that, yeah, handala sa'atun wa sa'a. That a moment for this, a moment for that. Like, go easy on yourself. Don't think you need to always be in worship. You don't. Like Allah, there's no shortage of having angels if Allah needed worship. Sure that you are mindful of God. Allah, this is a great thing of insan, but don't think you will always be mindful, that you'll always be, it's human nature to fluctuate. This, what in Arabic we call tafawut, this kind of moving between, this oscillating. So don't worry, it's human, it's human, all too human. So don't worry, and you're not expected to always, just whenever you do remember, you're grateful. When you don't remember, you're in your other activities and you're grateful that you can be in those activities.
Yes,
So yeah,
I
sure.
thought that this I don't know, no wonder why it appears to me as though the thought process is linked to the level of
Yeah,
patience you have.
sure. So when you think of it, look, we are, like, our consciousness, maybe it's tapped into different realms at the same time. Like so for example, you see, like, let's say you have a thought. Like, let's say you're thinking of anything, like a car, but you're thinking of a car, or you're thinking of a book or a holiday or a person or anything. But whilst you're thinking of it, you're aware you're thinking of it. Okay. So the question is, which are you? Are you the one thinking of the object? Are you the one aware that you're having the thought of the
I do not
so
want.
so the question is that you are, all of these are tapped into you. Your ultimate ruh and consciousness, if we're tying it to just your pure consciousness, is the one that is aware of the thoughts happening. But at lower levels, you will have thoughts, like in Arabic, we call them khawatir. And you will have these kind of, these things, these, your thoughts, truly speaking, are not you, but you are, when you're having them, you're thinking you are them whilst you're having them, because this is how the ego state goes through these things. So I guess ultimately you want to transcend, you want to maybe meditate, be mindful, reach a state of dhikr where you are even aware of of these thoughts, so you can stop. But that is a higher maqam. That is a very high maqam that very few people will reach, But the point is, if you don't reach it, that's fine. When you are grateful, you are grateful. Right. With that, we'll wrap this. It's been a pleasure, Sadid.
Yeah,
Allah bless you.
absolutely.
Take
Thank you. I
care.
will join
And
you
we'll,
again,
sure. And
inshallah.
And yeah, and like I said, do go to muftiabulaith.com and sign up so I can always keep you on my emailing list, and I will be
Inshallah, I will do that
speaking to you soon.
now.
Allah bless
Thank
you.
you.
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.
alaikum. Right, so people, that was Sadid. We've got here Rai Adnan. Oh, sorry, just before I bring you in, I missed some super chats. Let me just Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad Faisal Karwa. Allah bless you, Mufti, and grant you barakah in health and time so you can keep doing. What a beautiful, just a message from a beautiful soul. Allah bless you, Muhammad Faisal Kharwa, with many, with countless blessings. Ameen. All right, so Munir, Allah bless you for the super chat. Eat because you have to, not because you want to. Yeah, that to be fair, that is and shukran, I'd forgot to the verse, it slipped my mind. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qulu qawlan sadida. Ameen. Right, so that's I like Mufti's definition of brief. I tell you, this is responsible for many a tales in my life. But you know what it is, that I really wanted to go do a quick workout, but because I hadn't done it yesterday, I hadn't done it today, and hadn't, the day before it was okay. I did do one the day before, but I thought, there's all these beautiful people on here. Let me just engage with them. Chalo ye hota rahega yaar. We can always go do workouts. Let me at Ray Ad. Oh, did I miss? Salama Akimia. Allah bless you. Shukran for the super chat. Allah bless all of you. Seriously, I really appreciate you guys. Your love through things like that, super chat, super stickers. It's awesome. Mufti's timing. He's like Dragon Ball Z, 5 minutes on Namek. You see, I don't get these gaming things. I wish I did. Oh, is that gaming or is that anime? I don't even know. Right, so Ray Adnan. Assalamu alaikum, Ray.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Saab.
Right, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from, Ray?
I'm joining from Saudi Arabia और हम भी खड़े हैं राहों में.
क्या बात है यार, आप वहां हैं, हम आपको यहाँ ढूंढ रहे हैं यार. बड़ी चीज, you got right to the heart of it. आप वहां होते हैं, क्या बात है. Allah bless you यार.
Can we talk in English or Urdu?
जैसे आप चाहते हैं यार. जैसे I'm here to simply to serve you. तो आपकी खिदमत में बैठे हुए हैं. लब्बैक व सअदैक.
अल्लाह ताला आपको सलामत रखे और आपकी उम्र दराज करे और हमारे इल्म में भी इजाफा करे.
आमीन. शुक्रान. अल्लाह bless you. आमीन. अल्लाह खुश रखे.
अच्छा मुफ्ती साहब, मेरे कुछ सवालात हैं. एक तो रिलेटेड कुरान से, मैं भी काफी इल्मी सफर से गुजर रहा हूँ और स्टार्ट में ही मतलब बरेलवीज़म और उसके बाद फिर अहले हदीस की तरफ आ गया, क्योंकि जब पता चला कि अहले हदीस ही जो है हदीसी लिटरल है और नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. उसके बाद जब मैं सऊदी अरब आया, आपको पता है यहाँ पे भी क्योंकि ज्यादातर हम्बली मकतबे फिक्र के लोग हैं, तो हमें यही पता चला कि दीन असल में जो है वो कुरान और हदीस का नाम है. लेकिन जब जैसे आपका बुखारी गेट ही है, हदीसों को पढ़ना शुरू किया तो उसमें बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें नजर आई जो कि कुरान के बरक्स थी. फिर कुछ दिल मुतमईन नहीं हुआ, मतलब सोचा कि नहीं यार, ये चीजें जो है ना वो नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की बातें नहीं हो सकती. तो उसके बाद फिर कुरान की तरफ वापस पलटे तो फिर फिका से मुतारफ हुए कि फिका भी कुछ किसी चीज का नाम है जिसपे काफी लोगों ने, अहलुल राय ने काम किया हुआ है. तो अब मसला ये आ रहा है कि फिका को भी पढ़ लिया, इल्मुल कलाम भी पढ़ लिया, फलसफा भी पढ़ लिया, सारी बुक یعنی
کیا
جتنی بھی
بات ہے،
کتابیں تھیں
آپ بس
اس
عبور
میں
کرتے ہی جا رہے ہیں فقہ بھی پڑھ لیا، حدیث بھی پڑھ لیا، قرآن بھی پڑھ، سب کچھ، اب کچھ بچا ہی نہیں ہے پڑھنے کے لیے فلسفہ بھی پڑھ لیا یار، اب
یعنی
کچھ تو مجھے دو یار پڑھنے کے لیے
یعنی کہ وہ جو علم کی پیاس ہے نا وہ بجھ نہیں رہی، وہ مسلسل
ہم،
آگے بڑھتی چلی جا رہی ہے. تو
ہم،
ابھی جو میں جہاں پہ پھنسا ہوں نا مفتی صاحب، بڑے عرصے سے میں آپ کو کیپ ان ٹچ کر رہا تھا، لیکن اللہ کا شکر ہے ابھی سیری کی ہے تو آپ کا چہرہ ماشاءاللہ نظر آ گیا جیسے
ہائے
کہ آپ
ہائے
لائیو.
ہائے دیکھو یہ روحیں جو ہیں یہ جڑی ہوئی ہیں ایک دوسرے سے
جڑی ہوئی.
سے،
تو
ہاں
ابھی جو ہے نا میں الحمدللہ مکتب فرائی سے بھی کیپ ان ٹچ ہوں.
ٹھیک ہے، جی
آپ
جی،
کو شاید جو غامدی صاحب کا المورد ہے.
حامد صاحب،
تو
جی جی،
لیکن میں جہاں پہ اس نتیجے پہ پہنچا ہوں نا کہ یہاں پر بھی جو سعودی عرب میں بھی جو لٹرل انٹرپریٹیشن آف قرآن ہے،
جی،
مطلب جو لوگ یہ بات کرتے ہیں کہ قرآن ہی میزان ہے، قرآن ہی فرقان ہے، الٹیمیٹلی تو ہمارے پاس قرآن ہی ہے. لیکن جو لوگ قرآن کو میزان مانتے ہیں وہ بھی کسی ایک پیج پہ نہیں آ رہے. اب میرا پوائنٹ
ہم،
سمجھ رہے ہیں؟ مطلب اگر آپ دیکھیں غامدی صاحب کو یا مکتب فراہی کو یا علامہ پرویز صاحب کو یا جتنے بھی بڑے بڑے
ہم،
جنہوں نے روایت سے ہٹ کے بات کی ہے، وہ لوگ بھی
ہم،
ان کے اندر بھی اختلاف ہے. تو کیا فہم قرآن پاسبل ہے؟ کوئی ایسا کام کیا جا سکتا ہے سعودی عرب میں رہ کے، ایڈوانٹیج لیا جا سکتا ہے جس سے ہم لٹرل انٹرپریٹیشن آف دا قرآن تک پہنچے جو نبی پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے صحابہ کو ٹرانسفر کیا اور صحابہ نے پھر امت کو ٹرانسفر کیا. یعنی اتنا اختلاف کیوں ہے؟ ہم کیا پہنچ سکتے ہیں اس ذریعے تک یا نہیں؟
دیکھیے یہ جو سوال ہے، کیونکہ سوال کو سمجھنا ہے، اس کو اگر ہم پھر اس کا ترجمہ کر لیں سوال کا بالفرض، یعنی میرا مطلب ہے کہ ایک ادق عبارت کی طرف، یعنی زیادہ دقیق عبارت کی طرف، کہ دیکھیے اچھا کہنا کیا چاہ رہے ہیں ہم، کہ کیا، کیونکہ قرآن تو سب کا ایک ہی ہے، ٹھیک ہے، اس پر تو ہم سب متفق ہیں، اور یہ بھی ہونا چاہیے، یعنی ہمارے اصول یہی ہونے چاہیے کہ قرآن سب سے، یعنی اول نمبر پر ہمیشہ ہی قرآن ہے اور صرف قرآن ہے. یہ اس بات پر ہمیں کوئی اختلاف کرنا نہیں چاہیے، اگر لوگ عملیاً کر لیتے ہیں مگر کرنا نہیں چاہیے. اب جہاں تک یہ معاملہ ہے یہ ہم سب متفق ہیں. اب اس سے آگے کیا اس کا نتیجہ یہ نکلتا ہے کہ قرآن کو پڑھتے وقت جو ہمارے سمجھ میں آئے گا، جس کو ہم اب، جیسے ایک لفظ ہے نا، ایک فہم ہے، ایک ہماری سمجھ، مگر ایک تفاہم ہے، جیسے ایک عربی میں کہا جاتا ہے کہ آپس میں ہم سب کی سوچ اور سمجھ جو ہے، تو یہ تفاہم سب کی ملتی جلتی، بلکہ ملتی جلتی چھوڑیے، بس کہ یکجا ہوگی، یعنی بالکل بس ایک ہی ہوگی. ہم سب ہر آیت کو جب بھی پڑھیں گے صرف ایک ہی سمجھ ہمارے ذہن میں آئے گی. اب یہ جو ہے یہ قرآن کی جو یعنی قرآن کا جو جلال ہے، قرآن کی جو معجزہ ہے، اس قرآن کی آیات کے پر خلاف ہے، کیونکہ اس میں دیکھیے قرآن میں جو قرآن کی طاقت ہے وہ اسی یعنی مرکز سے یا اسی محور پر ہے کہ ہر دور میں ہر انسان کے لیے قرآن ایک نئی روشنی لا سکتا ہے، اور یہ صرف تب ہی کر سکتا ہے اگر اس میں یہ طاقت ہو کہ جب بھی انسان اس کو پڑھے ایک نئی سوچ کے ساتھ یا ایک نئی نظر کے ساتھ، تو یہ بھی ایک نئی روشنی کا یعنی پیش کرے گا اس شخص کے لیے کہ دیکھیں ہاں یار، ہاں وہ بھی ایک سمجھ ہے، وہ بھی ہم سمجھتے ہیں اس آیت سے، یہ بھی سمجھ سکتے ہیں، یہ بھی اس سے نتیجہ نکل سکتا ہے. تو آئی تھنک اس کو متقید کرنا کہ صرف ایک ہی، یعنی جو پڑھا جائے، جو سمجھ ہے، جو مفہوم ہے ہر آیت کی، وہ بس ایک ہی ہو، واحد، یعنی ایک جیسے مفہوم واحد ہو مکمل قرآن کی. تو کیونکہ دیکھیے انسان، اب آپ ایک گھر لے لیجئے، ٹھیک ہے، ایک گھر میں کتنی الگ ٹائپ کی سوچیں ہوں گی، ٹھیک ہے، آپ ایک ہی فیملی کو لے لیجئے، ایک پریوار کو، کہ اس میں اس بندے کی سوچ ایسے ہوگی، اس بندے کی ایسے ہوگی. اب آپ ایک سوسائٹی کو لے لیجئے، کمیونٹی کو، پھر ایک سوسائٹی کو، پھر ایک ملک کو، پھر ایک امت کو. تو یہ کیسے اب ہم کہیں کہ سب کی سوچ ایک ہی ہو اس پر، تو یہ ایک یعنی اس پر کیا کہتے ہیں جسٹس نہیں ہوگا, یعنی انصاف نہیں ہوگا. سو آئی تھنک
لیکن یہ تو پھر یہ مفتی صاحب اس میں دیکھیں نا, پھر ابھی تو پھر یہ امت میں تو اختلاف رہے گا نا. اب وہ قرآن کی آیت ہے, اللہ تعالیٰ نے فرمایا ہے وَلَا تَكُونَ كَالَّذِينَ تَفَرَّقُوا, مجھے مطلب ایگزیکٹلی وَاخْتَلَافُوا اینڈ وَقَالَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُّقِيمٌ, ایسا نہ ہو جانا کہ تفرقہ نہ ڈال لینا اور اختلاف نہ کرنا. اب یہ مطلب جو ایکچوئل ابھی جو دیکھیں نا آپ, صحابہ کرام جو تھے ان کو بھی کسی قسم کی پرابلم نہیں تھی, نہ وہ تفسیر میں گئے تھے نہ وہ کسی قسم کی, کیونکہ ان کے لیے بالکل واضح تھی جو ہمارے قرآن کی جو لغت ہے. جسے ایک ہی آیت کو لے کے ایک اسکالر کہتا ہے جی کہ نہیں جی نہیں, اس کا جو اطلاق ہے یہ اس صحابہ پہ تھا. دوسرا اسکالر کہتا ہے نہیں جی نہیں, اس کا اطلاق جو ہے وہ دائمی ہے قیامت تک سب مسلمانوں کی. یعنی کہ بات جو یہ کس طرف جا رہے ہیں ہم نے.
ہاں مگر آپ دیکھیے نا, یہ جو اختلاف ہوتا ہے تو اختلاف کا پہلو جو ہے یہ قرآن میں 2 طریقوں سے پیش کیا جاتا ہے. ایک میں جیسے آپ نے ذکر کیا کہ دیکھیے اولا تکونوا کالذین اختلفوا, جیسے یہاں پر ایک زاویہ شر سے کہ یہ جو ہے یہ ایک منفی چیز ہے, اس یعنی جو روشنی اس پہ ڈالی جا رہی منفی ہے. مگر پھر یہی لفظ اختلاف ان جگہوں میں آتا ہے جیسے کہ اختلاف اللیل والنہار, آپ جیسے دن اور روشنی اور رات جیسے آپس میں اختلاف السنتکم والوانکم, آپ کے جیسے جو آپس میں جو رنگوں میں زبانوں میں آپ کے آپس کے لوگوں میں جو اختلاف ہے اس کو ایک مثبت انداز میں پیش کیا جاتا ہے. تو یہاں پر ہمیں یہ سمجھنا ہے اچھا تو ٹھیک ہے, اختلاف کا لفظ منفی بھی آتا ہے مثبت بھی آتا ہے, تو اس کا یہاں پر اچھا تو اس میں علت کیا ہے, یعنی اس پر جو ہاں اس کی علت کیا ہے کہ ہاں کیونکہ اختلاف ایک بہت ہی پسندیدہ چیز بھی ہو سکتی ہے, بہت ہی جیسے ایک اچھی چیز میں بہت ہی خیرن کثیرہ ہو سکتا ہے. بلکہ اللہ کہتے ہیں جب آپ کے آپس کے اختلاف جیسے آپ کے رنگ جو ہیں, آپ کی زبانیں جو ہیں, آپ کی جو یہ تو آیات اللہ ہیں, اللہ کے یعنی سائنس ہے اس میں. تو یہاں پر یہی چیز جو ہے اس کو ایک شر ہے, فتنہ ہے. تو ہمیں سمجھنا ہے تو پھر مقصد کیا ہے یہاں پر, تو یہ مقصد بنتا ہے یعنی اس پر علت کیا ہے. علت یہ ہے, مقصد نہیں, علت کہ یہاں پر جو اختلاف تھا یہ اختلاف آپ کو ایک جیسے ایک نفرت کی طرف لے گیا, جنگیں یعنی آپس میں عداوتیں, آپ کی آپس میں دشمنیاں, اس میں یہ ایک قتل و غارت کی طرف لے گیا, آپ کو فتنہ و فساد کی طرف لے گیا یہ اختلاف. حالانکہ اگر اختلاف تو ایک قدرتی چیز ہے, اللہ تعالیٰ میں بتا رہے ہیں. دیکھیے ہر چیز میں اختلاف ہے, اختلاف میں اللہ کے آیات ہیں. اگر اور یہی آیت لقوم یتفکرون, مگر ہر لوگ یعنی ہر قسم کے لوگ اس کو شاید پہچانتے نہیں ہیں. آپ اگر تفکر کریں گے تب جا کر اس تک پہنچیں گے. تو یہاں پر یہ ہے کہ دیکھیے آپ اگر سوچیں تو اسی اختلاف میں اللہ تعالیٰ کی نشانیاں ہیں. تو اگر ہم اپنے نفس کو کنٹرول کر سکتے ہیں کہ دیکھیے ٹالریٹ کرنا ہے, ایک دوسرے کو ٹالریٹ سے بھی زیادہ سیلیبریٹ کرنا ہے کہ دیکھیے ٹھیک ہے آپ مختلف ہیں اس رائے میں, آپ نماز میں رفع الیدین کرتے ہیں یہ بندہ نہیں کرتا, آپ نماز میں ہاتھ باندھتے ہیں یہ بندہ نہیں باندھتا, آپ تشہد اس طریقے سے پڑھتے ہیں, آپ اس کو سنت مانتے ہیں یہ نہیں مانتے, آپ اس چیز میں چلو آپ اس چیز سے پرہیز کرتے ہیں اس کو حرام سمجھتے ہیں کہ چلو فوٹوگرافز حرام ہیں, یہ حرام ہے, یہ لوگ نہیں مانتے اس کو حرام. اللہ تعالیٰ کہتے ہیں کہ دیکھیے آپ کی یہ جو آیات ہیں کہ آپ کے جو نسک ہیں, آپ کے جو قربانیاں ہیں, آپ کی یہ چیزیں جو آپ پیش کرتے اللہ تعالیٰ کے سامنے, یہ اللہ کو نہیں پہنچتی. لا تنالہ یعنی یہ چیزیں اللہ کو پہنچتی نہیں ہیں. صرف ینالہ التقوی منکم, آپ سے جو تقوی ہے, آپ کی جو ڈیووشن ہے, نیت ہے, یہ صرف اللہ تعالیٰ تک پہنچتی ہے. تو اصل مقصد جو ہے ڈیووشن ہے. ٹھیک ہے ہم اختلاف رکھیں گے, اس میں کوئی
یعنی کہ اختلاف
اگر
رہے گا
سوچا
اس کا
جائے
مطلب.
یہ ہاں اگر سوچا جائے اختلاف جو ہے یہ ایک رنگ لاتا ہے. یہ دنیا جو ہے یہ صرف بلیک اینڈ وائٹ نہیں ہے, یہ رنگین ہے, بھرپور رنگوں سے.
اس کا مطلب یہ ہوا کہ یہ اللہ تعالیٰ کا منشا تھا کہ امت میں اختلاف رہے، مطلب یہ ہم اس کو اس طرح کنکلوڈ کریں؟
دیکھیے یہ
اب
آپ ہاں
میں
یہ ایک نہیں بالکل
میں
بالکل یہ ایک کہنے کا یہ ایک انداز ہے. دوسرا انداز یہ ہے کہ ہاں اللہ تعالیٰ چاہتے تھے کہ دنیا میں ہر اللہ تعالیٰ کا منشا تھا، جیسے آپ نے کہا کہ ارادہ تھا، جیسے ارادہ قدریہ الہیہ، کہ اس دنیا میں ہر رنگ ہو، ہر زاویہ ہو، ہر جیسے ایک محور ہو، ہر رائے ہو، مبدا ہو، اور ان سب میں اللہ تعالیٰ کی نشانیاں ہوں. ہاں اللہ تعالیٰ ایسا چاہتے تھے اور ایسا ہی ہوا ہے. تو اس طریقے سے بھی ہم اس کو پیش کر سکتے ہیں. ایک طریقے، کیونکہ جب ہم کہیں کہ دیکھیں اللہ تعالیٰ ہم ایسا نہیں کہتے کہ اللہ یہ بھی صحیح ہے، مگر میں بس ایک تعدباً کہہ رہا ہوں ادب کے لحاظ سے کہ دیکھیں اگر ہم کہیں اللہ تعالیٰ چاہتے تھے اختلاف رہے، کیونکہ اختلاف کبھی اس کا یہ جو لفظ ہے اس کے ایک کونوٹیشنز ہوتے ہیں، اس کا ایک سمجھ اس کے ساتھ ایک سوچ ہے کہ جڑی ہوئی ہے کہ اچھا یہ ایک منفی لفظ ہے، اچھا یار ان کے آپس میں اختلاف ہیں، جیسے ہم کہتے ہیں کہ یار یہ ایک منفی لفظ ہے، جیسے عام طور پر جیسے ایک رائج الاستعمال. تو اس لہٰذا اس جملے میں اس کا ایک منفی اثر پڑ رہا ہے. مگر اگر ہم کہیں اللہ تعالیٰ چاہتے تھے کہ ہر رنگ ہو، ہر قول ہو، ہر سوچ ہو، اور سمجھ ہو، اور زاویہ ہو، اور ان سب میں اللہ تعالیٰ کی نشانیاں ہوں، یعنی فیہا آیات اللہ. تو یہ ہاں اس طریقے سے کہنا کچھ بہتر ہے. مگر ہاں یہ ہے، دیکھیں ہم سب کیا ہے یہ رائے یار، کیا ہے یہ؟ دیکھیں میرے پاس ایک
اصل میں
اوپینین ہے، بالفرض ایک اوپینین ہو میرے پاس، 1-2 سالوں کے بعد، شاید 5 سالوں کے بعد میری اوپینین تبدیل ہو جائے. یعنی یہ بس ہمارا ایک سفر ہے اس دنیا میں. یعنی یہ کیا ہے؟ اب ہم اس پر لڑ بیٹھے ہیں ایک دوسرے سے کہ یار نہیں
اب
آپ ایسا ہی
ہمارے
سمجھو.
پاس ہمارے پاس نا اب انجینئرنگ سے ریلیٹڈ کچھ اسٹینڈرڈز ہوتے ہیں، ٹھیک ہے، وی ہیو ٹو کمپلائی دیٹ اسٹینڈرڈ. اب اس اسٹینڈرڈ کو بنانے والا کوئی بندہ ہے، لائک کہ میرے پاس وہ اسٹینڈرڈ ٹیکسٹ فارم میں آتا ہے، تو وہ اسٹینڈرڈ کسی نے لکھا ہوتا ہے. اب اس بندے نے اسٹینڈرڈ لکھا تو میں اس سے پوچھوں گا کہ اس کی ایکچوئل انٹرپریٹیشن کیا ہے. یعنی کہ یہ کہتے ہیں نا فلسفے میں کہ ٹیکسٹ جو ہے وہ اسٹیٹک ہوتا ہے لیکن اس کا فہم ڈائنامک ہے. یعنی آپ کے
ہاں
پاس ایک
ایک
ٹیکسٹ،
ڈائنامزم، ایک تحرک ہے اس میں، ایک جاندار چیز ہے.
اب میرے پاس قرآن کا ٹیکسٹ تو ہے لیکن اس کا فہم، آپ کچھ کر رہے ہیں میں کچھ کر رہا ہوں، اس کا مطلب ہے کہ یہ امت میں اختلاف رہے گا. مطلب ہم اس کو نہیں روک سکتے، ادب کے دائرے میں ایک دوسرے سے اختلاف کرنا چاہیے، اسی کو ہم اس طرح سے لے سکتے ہیں، رائٹ؟
دیکھیے میں ایک مثال دیتا ہوں. دیکھیے شاعری لے لیجئے، ٹھیک ہے، شاعری لے لیجئے. شاعری جو لفظ ہے وہ لفظ سے آتا ہے شعور سے. شعر بالعربیہ شعور سے جڑا ہوا ہے، کیونکہ شاعری جو ہے اس کا اصل جو مقصد ہے کیفیہ ایجاد کرنا، ایجاد کیفیت سامع میں. تو آپ سنتے ہیں تو آپ میں ایک شعور، ایک کیفیت، اس کی ایکسپیرینس، ایک ذوق اس کا آتا ہے. پھر آپ اس کا ترجمہ کر سکتے ہیں الفاظ میں، مگر جب بھی آپ ترجمہ کرتے ہیں اس میں وہ شعور نہیں ہوتا ہے. اس کا پہلا جو مقصد ہے وہ ایک ایکسپیرینشل ہے. تو اب یہ تو شاعری کی بات ہے. جہاں تک ڈیوائن ریولیشن، جو اللہ تعالیٰ کا کلام، اب دیکھیے جیسے میں ایک مثال دیتا ہوں. آپ غالب کا ایک بیت لے لیجئے کوئی بھی، جیسے ظلمت قدے میں میرے شب غم کا جوش ہے، ایک شمع دلیل سحر ہے سو خاموش ہے. ٹھیک ہے، اب اس کو لے لیجئے. ٹھیک ہے، انہوں نے یہاں پر ظلمت قدے میں میرے شب غم کا جوش ہے، ظلمت قدا، ٹھیک ہے، یہ اب آپ اس کو سمجھا رہے ہیں کسی کو، ٹھیک ہے، اس کا مقصد کیا، یہ کہنا کیا چاہ رہے ہیں کہ انہوں نے چلو ایک نقشہ کھینچا کہ آپ ایک کسی کمرے میں، بالکل اندھیرا کمرہ ہے، اس کو انہوں نے اپنا جیسے گھر بنایا ہوا، ظلمت قدا میرا. حالانکہ انہوں نے اس کو یہ بھی کہہ سکتے تھے کہ میرا ظلمت قدا سے کہنا، انہوں نے ایک ہوملی فیل، جیسے ایک گھرانہ فیل اس میں پیش کیا. حالانکہ یہی میرا گھر ہے، ایک ظلمت قدا. ٹھیک ہے، ظلمت قدے میں میرے شب غم کا جوش ہے. یار یہ ظلمت قدا ہے مگر اس میں ایک جوشیلا ہے، کون سا جوش ہے؟ غم کا. تو یہاں پر ایک آئرنی ہے، ٹھیک ہے. جوش جو ہے عام طور پر جس طریقے سے ایک ایکسائٹیٹری، ایک کائنڈ آف پازیٹیو مثبت چیز ہے، مگر یہاں پہ شب غم، اور پھر شب کو جوڑا ظلمت سے، ٹھیک ہے، کیونکہ شب بھی، مگر شب وہ ہے کہ ابھی مکمل اندھیرا نہیں ہوا ہے، اندھیرے کی طرف جا رہے ہیں، مگر انہوں نے شروع کیا کہ دیکھیے یہاں پر ظلمت قدے میں بالکل اندھیرا ہے، اور شب غم یعنی ابھی اور تاریک اندھیرا ہوگا، شب غم کا جوش ہے. اور دیکھیے ایک شمع دلیل سحر ہے، یعنی حالانکہ میں ایک شمع بھی ہے میرے پاس، سو
کیا بات ہے،
خاموش ہے.
کیا بات ہے.
اور دیکھیے یہ شمع دلیل سحر کہنے کا کیا مقصد، کہ یہ جو شمع ہے یہ تب تک بجھے گی، تب تک جلے گی جب تک سحر نہ ہو جائے، کیونکہ سحر ہوتے ہی ہم بتیاں بجھا دیں گے، ہم روشنی ہو گئی، ہم نے کینڈل بھی بجھا دیا، شمع بھی بجھا دیا. تو بالکانٹراسٹ یہاں پہ بالمقارنہ ہم سمجھ سکتے ہیں کہ یہ شمع جب تک جل رہی ہے اس کا مطلب ہے کہ باہر اندھیرا ہے، جب یہ ہم نے اس کو بجھا دیا اس کا مطلب ہے باہر روشنی ہے. دیکھیے ایک شمع دلیل سحر ہے، سو خاموش ہے، وہ بھی یار ہمیں کچھ بتا نہیں رہے کیا ہو رہا ہے. اب اتنا آپ نے ایک بیت لیا، یہ جو 2 بیت ہیں غالب کے، کہ ظلمت قدے میں میرے شب غم کا جوش ہے، ایک شمع دلیل سحر ہے، سو خاموش ہے. اس کو اب آپ کسی کو سمجھا رہے ہیں، اب وہ بندہ شاید کچھ الگ سمجھ رہا ہے اس میں سے، ٹھیک ہے، کیونکہ اس میں کتنے معانی جمع ہیں، مرکب ہیں اس میں. اب یہ تو یار شاعری ہے ایک بندے کی، کہاں کلام اللہ، اس میں کیا جوش ہے، اس میں کیا، یعنی ہم کہاں اس کو ایک بندے کی سوچ تک متقید کر سکتے ہیں، ہو ہی نہیں سکتا. کیا خیال ہے؟ تو
یعنی کہ ہاں بالکل، میں اس کو اس طرح سے سمجھاؤں کہ ابھی یہ تو چلے ٹھیک ہے، مطلب آپ نے پڑھ لیا، آپ نے قرآن پہ کام کر لیا، تو آپ کی کچھ اپنی انٹرپریٹیشن ہے، اس کے ساتھ اختلاف کریں گے مدلل چیزوں پر، رائٹ، کہ آپ دلائل کے ساتھ بات کریں، اور اس کو ہمیں اتنا ایکسٹریم لیول تک نہیں لے کے جانا کہ دستوں گریبان ہو جائیں دوسرے کے، یار یہ
نہیں
کیسے
نہیں نہیں،
کیسے
ہاں
ہماری
یار
سسٹم ہے
بالکل یار.
روایت. ویری بیڈ.
دیکھیے
دوسرا
پورے قرآن ریولیشن کو، آپ پورے وحی کو، ان اللہ یأمرکم بالعدل والاحسان، یہی ہے نا یہ ایک آیت، کہ اللہ تو یہی انہی چیزوں کا آپ کو کہ احکام دے رہے ہیں، کہ کیونکہ
اچھا،
باقی
اس میں جو
ہاں
اس میں جو فاشا کا ورڈ ہے، جو اس کو کیسے ڈی کوڈ کریں گے؟ اب فاشا کو ہم کس پیرائے میں لیں گے، مطلب
ہاں
کس سینس
یہ اس میں، ہاں اس میں اختلاف ہوگا کہ لوگوں کو، کیونکہ یہاں پر ذکر نہیں ایتاء ذی القربى ینہاکم عن الفحشاء والمنکر، تو یہاں پر کچھ چیزیں ہوں گی، ہاں اس پر اختلاف ہوگا علماء کا.
اچھا، کچھ لوگ
گے کہ
کہیں گے
دیکھ
کہ
ہاں
پورنوگرافی میں کون سی حق تلفی ہو رہی ہے، ایک بندہ مطلب دکھا رہا ہے اور میں دیکھ رہا ہوں، تو اس میں کون سی حق تلفی ہے؟ یہ اب اس کو ڈی کوڈ کریں، کیسے کریں گے؟ پورنوگرافی فحاشا ہے یا نہیں ہے؟
ہاں نہیں تو، کیونکہ دیکھیے یہ بالکل جیسے آپ کہہ رہے ہیں نا ایک تو مسائل آپ ایسے چھیڑ لیتے ہیں کہ دیکھیے بات آپ صحیح کہہ رہے ہیں کہ کچھ چیزیں ہوتی ہیں جانی ہوئی، کچھ چیزیں ہوتی ہیں پہچانی ہوئی، کہ دیکھیے
بالکل
جیسے اللہ تعالیٰ شروع میں بھی کہتے ہیں ان اللہ یأمرکم بالعدل والاحسان. اب بندہ یہ کہہ سکتا ہے کہ عدل کیا ہوتا ہے، ٹھیک
بالکل
ہے،
بالکل.
احسان
اس
کیا
کے
ہوتا ہے؟
لٹرل
تو
میننگ
عدل ایک جانی ہوئی چیز اور احسان ایک پہچانی ہوئی چیز، ٹھیک ہے نا. تو ینہاکم عن الفحشاء والمنکر، تو یہاں پر بھی وہی چیز آ جاتی ہے کہ کچھ چیزیں ہوں گی آپ ان کو جان لیتے ہیں، کچھ چیزوں کو پہچان لیتے ہیں، جیسے اجتماعی چیزیں ہوتی ہیں، آپ سوشل چیزیں آپ سیکھ لیتے ہو کہ یہ چیزیں اس سوسائٹی میں، اور جیسے آپ نے فونوگرافی کی بات کی جیسے فون یا سیکشول سٹف، تو اس میں اس کو بھی دیکھ لیجئے، اس میں بھی اب یہ پہلو ہوں گے کہ یہ جو کام فی ذاتی ہی ہے، جیسے اب ہم بستری، معاشرت، جنسیہ، جنس جو ہے وہ فی ذاتی ہی تو ایک پہلو سے اگر میاں بیوی کے درمیان ہو تو ایک مثبت रूहानी काम भी कहा जा सकता है, एक सदका भी कहा जा सकता है, एक स्पिरिचुअल एक्ट भी कही जा सकती है। और उसी काम को बंदा, जैसे आपने कहा, रिकॉर्ड कर कर फैला रहा है लोगों में, तो उसी काम को जो एक स्पिरिचुअल चीज थी उसको एक फहाशी कहलाई जाएगी और एक मुनकर। तो यही चीज है कि एक चीज हम समझते हैं, उसमें कुछ काम ऐसे हो सकते हैं जिनका एक तकद्दुस भी हो सकता है, मगर आप उनको एक तरीके से पेश करें सोसाइटी में तो वही काम एक ईवल सामने पेश आ सकता है। ठीक है, तो ये अब मगर इसमें एक पूरा, अब क्या मुनकर है हम कैसे समझते हैं, क्या अदल है हम कैसे समझते हैं, ये तो एक बहुत लंबी बहस और गुफ्तगू हो जाएगी। मगर यार यहीं तक इंशाल्लाह आज हम इसको रोकते हैं, एक तो और लोगों से भी सलाम कर लेते हैं।
अच्छा, एक लास्ट छोटा सा कोई बड़ी देर बाद आप हाथ आए हैं मेरे, एक छोटा सा सवाल जो है ना वो ये है कि जो हमारी इमाम मालिक की मोटा है उसको
जी जी
सियासत में क्यों नहीं शामिल किया इन्होंने इसमें
हाँ हाँ यार, ये एक बड़ा सवाल है यार, कि ये मुद्दा यही
इसमें
है
क्या
कि यार ये
इसमें क्या वो इमाम जो इलामा परवेज साहब है उनका मौकफ की तायीद नहीं होती, जो वो कहते हैं कि यार ये जितनी भी सियासत है इनको सबको पर्शियंस ने लिखा है और जितनी भी तारीखें हैं, तो इसमें फिर ये क्योंकि इमाम मालिक की जो मोता है वो तो इतनी ऑथेंटिक है, उन्होंने कहा मैं वो सुन्नत ही नहीं लेता जो मदीना वालों के अमल में ना हो, और ये बड़ी ही जो है ऑथेंटिक कंक्रीट बात उन्होंने की है, तो इसको सियासत में शामिल ना करना, यू नो दैट सर
हम्म,
आप
हाँ मौता, हाँ क्या बात है, क्या बात है। और इसमें शामिल क्यों नहीं किया गया, ऑनेस्टली ये एक बात, वाकई एक बात है। मगर नहीं, मैं ये नहीं समझता हूँ कि ये कोई अहले फारिस का, पर्शियंस का कोई जैसे एजेंडा था। मगर इसमें अगर था कुछ तो ये शाफ़िय्या का, कि ये नहीं कि एजेंडा, मगर उनकी एक चलो उनका एक इख्तियार चला कि वो ज़्यादातर मुहद्दिसीन मशरिक जो थे वो शाफ़िय्युल मज़हब थे। ठीक है, तो ये उन्होंने जब ये किताबें चुनी, जिनको जैसे इब्न ताहिर और इस टाइप के लोगों ने जो इसको ये नाम दिया कि सियासत, क्योंकि ये कोई जुड़ा हुआ ये नहीं कि ये कोई मुत्तफ़क़ुन अलैह बात है, बस कुछ लोगों ने इसको नाम दिया और ये राइजल इस्तेमाल हो गया। तो वो ज़्यादातर वो शाफ़िई थे और उन्होंने ये जो किताबें चुनी तो अपने मज़हब के मुताबिक जैसे चुनी, एक हदीसी प्रोजेक्ट था। दूसरी ये बात है, और ये भी एक अहम बात है इसमें, कि जहाँ तक इमाम मालिक की अहादीस हैं, वो पहली बात है बहुत कम पढ़ती हैं उनके बानिस्बत, क्योंकि सिर्फ 2000 से भी कम है, 1800 जैसे, यहाँ तक जैसे उनसे कम है वो, 8000, 10,000, 12,000 इस तरफ जा रहे हैं। तो दूसरी बात ये थी कि इमाम मालिक इसमें साहिबुर राई हैं, अहलुर राई में से हैं, कि हर हदीस को वो मानते नहीं हैं। तो वो कहते हैं कि देखिए, हादल हदीस लैसा अलैहिल अमल बिबलदिना, इस हदीस पर कोई अमल ही दरामद नहीं है। तो ये बात जो है कहना, ये अ, हदीस प्रोजेक्ट जो है, जो मुहद्दिसीन का जो जो बहुत बड़ा एक जैसे एक तंजीम अगर हम कह लें, ये लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल कर लें, उनके ज़रा उसूल के खिलाफ है। वो ये नहीं, ये बात उनका ये मकसद नहीं कि वो कभी हदीस पर तनकीद नहीं करते, करते हैं, और वो भी इख्तियार करते हैं कि इस हदीस को लेते हैं, उस हदीस को छोड़ देते हैं, मगर इस तरीके से नहीं। यानी ये मबनियुन अला राई या अल
यानी
मसलहा।
मुहद्दिसीन का ये असूल है हदीस के बारे में कि सारा इल्म
वो मुहद्दिसीन जो हैं वो अहले राई में से नहीं है। यानी वो ऐसा नहीं करते कि एक हदीस को मसलहत के मातहत, या
यानी आप
जैसे
क्या समझते हैं, आप हदीस के इल्म को जन्नी समझते हैं या कतई समझते हैं, अखबारुल अहाद का जो
अच्छा,
इल्म
हाँ, तो ये अलग मसला है कि अहादीस जो हैं वो वैसे ज़न्नी हैं, अक्सरियत के
जन्नी है,
यानी हाँ, ज़न्नियत सबूत हैं, क्योंकि देखिए ये सब
फिर
खबर अहाद हैं, ये खबर अहाद जो हैं ला तुफीदुल क़ता, ये कुछ लोगों का कहना था, कुछ शाफ़िय्या का, कि युफीदुल क़ता इज़ा 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 इक़तरना बिल क़राइन, और ये
या
वो कहते
इससे
हैं,
हम
मगर
अकीदा भी ले सकते हैं, ये भी मुहद्दिसीन का असूल है कि जो
ये
अख़बार
सलफ़िया का
हादा
उसूल है। हाँ, सलफ़िया का जो मनहज है वो ये है। मगर अक्सर उम्मत का ये कौल है कि जो अहादीस अहाद है, खबर अहाद, वो ला युफीदुल इल्म व ला युफीदुल क़ता, युफीदुल ज़न। जैसे ये गालिब ज़न हम कह सकते हैं, ज़न्नी है, ज़न्नी सबूत, इसको क़तई सबूत नहीं कहा जाता है। तो इसमें ये, मगर ये आई डोंट थिंक ये मसला था। आई थिंक ज़्यादातर इसमें ये मसला था कि इमाम मालिक का जो ये नज़रिया, ये जो उनका नज़रिया नहीं, उनका जो एटीट्यूड है हदीस के साथ,
हम्म
ये बहुत हावी है उनके किताब में, यानी सामने आता है बार-बार। और एंड आई थिंक इट डिडंट, यानी जी जैसे गैर मुलायम था उसूल मुहद्दिसीन के लिए, तो उनके उसूल से ज़रा इसका जोड़ नहीं बना। सो आई थिंक दैट वाज़ इट। दूसरी बात ये कि इसमें अहादीस भी कम हैं, तो कोई उनका ख़ास मुद्दा सामने नहीं आता, क्योंकि सिर्फ़ इसमें
अच्छा
2000 से भी
उस्ताद
कम
उस्ताद उस्ताद जी, एक बात बता दें, हदीस का जो इल्म है उससे हम अकीदा ले सकते हैं? क्योंकि इस पे भी मुत्तफिक है कि अखबारुल अहाद से अकीदा कोई नहीं लिया जा सकता। इस
हुँ,
तरह तो जो हमारा अज़ाब कब्र का जो है सारा
हुँ।
कुछ ही
तो ये
मलियामेट हो
इसमें
जाएगा सिस्टम।
हाँ, ये इसमें वही मसला आ जाता है कि देखिए कि अख़बार व अहाद जो हैं, और इसमें उलमा का क़ौल व फ़अल में कुछ तारुज़ आता है। क़ौलन वो यही कहते हैं, हम उसको नहीं लेते, फ़अलन ले लेते हैं, तो इसमें फिर एक तारुज़ आता है। मगर चलो, ये इससे एक नया मसला शुरू हो जाता है यार, अब चलो इसी पर
अच्छा, मुझे
इक्तिफ़ा करते हैं। तो
अपना कोई व्हाट्सएप नंबर दे दें, मैं इंशाल्लाह बहुत टाइम ले लिया आपका, माज़रत ख़वाऊँ उसके लिए।
चलो, आप इंस्टाग्राम पर राब्ता कीजिए, और वहाँ से फिर हम राब्ता रखते हैं, और फिर आगे इंशाल्लाह इसको
ठीक है,
बात।
जज़ाकुमुल्लाह
ठीक है
खैरियत
यार,
से।
अल्लाह ताला
वल्लाह
खुश
यातिकल
रखें।
यातिकल
Ameen,
आफिया।
ameen. Fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum. All right, people. Right, Adnan. What a discussion on so many different topics there. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Who do we have here left? We have Hussein. Man, Hussein. We've got Wilkins as well, but we'll come to Wilkins in just a moment, because I know that's going to be a combustion of epic laughter. So we'll just hold on to that. Let's bring Hussein. Assalamu alaikum, Hussein.
Wa alaikum salam. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Ah,
Allah.
alhamdulillah.
Where are you joining us from, Hussein?
From the land down under,
All
Australia.
right. Allah. All I can just see like a gleaming office behind you. This is it, man.
It's work time
Hard at
down here,
work.
you know. Well, that's it, you know.
Shukran.
It's good to get to talk to you. I remember coming across a lot of your content, maybe, you know, many years ago, 5, 6 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I must have stuffed up my algorithms or something, you know, because poof, no more videos came up. And
Wow.
then I came across your channel again, and it's subhanallah, you know, because I was thinking about myself 6 years ago and how I've changed, and then looking through your content and whatnot, and just the evolution
Wow.
of our discussions, our thinkings,
Yeah.
and whatnot. It's an amazing thing,
It's
just growing mentally.
honestly, I feel that. Yeah, I feel I don't. You seem very young, but I feel for me, it started with, I would say, the age of 40, starting. 'Cause I'm now 44, but in the last 1 year, 1.5, but starting with a gradual thing. But I've really, and I hope this really just, I hope it continues in a fruitful way. This growth to, just to be um, just a better person in many directions, in thought, in emotion, in engagement, in direction, in contribution. So yeah, it's, there's a beautiful dua that I just came across it again. I mean, it's one we know. It's so simple. It's so simple, and it's one we know, but sometimes you're just reminded of it. It's that the Prophet said, he said, Allahumma inni as'aluka fi'al al-khayrat. That, oh Allah, I just ask you, just like the ability to do goodness. And it's amazing because I thought about it, I thought the hadith could have been Allahumma inni as'aluka al-khairat, that I ask you goodness. And that would have been equally valid in a different way, that I'm asking you goodness, like, give me good rizq, give me a good life, give me a good, and there's nothing, that's a beautiful dua if a person says that, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-khairat, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana, the same thing. So, but this said, inni as'aluka fi'l al-khairat. You see, like, there's a growth, like, enable me to do the goodness. I just honestly, I don't know. It's simple, but it hit me in a way. But yeah, but there has been, man. I appreciate, and I like that you said that.
SubhanAllah,
It's true.
those little du'as, when I come across them, they're so profound. Like, prevent me from tripping and being tripped. It's like, wow. You know what I mean? I can't believe it. Just reading it, just one sentence, it just blows my whole mind and just the way I think,
Yeah, that is so true. That's a nice one. Wow, that's a beautiful one. And azilla azal. Yeah, that I trip or be tripped. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, so again, I guess it's across more of your controversial topics, the Bukhari gate. You just had that conversation with that brother. I didn't understand any of it. It seems pretty good from the second coming of Jesus, the Dajjal and whatnot. Do you still hold those positions from those videos, 3-4 years ago? Did anything change?
No, I don't think my opinions per se are different. I think what's happened is there's been a growth in understanding the complexity and the engagement. So I'll tell you what I've come to understand. I've come to understand that you have to not only recognize, but appreciate that people, one, like what I was saying to the other person, that people understand things differently, and you have to lay it out for them, and you have to be in a state of submission. Like, you're not here to, I think something I feel that before, with these opinions, I feel that I had an infantile kind of nature to me with them. Like, I feel that there was like this kind of infant ego, like in the sense of like I have to disprove to people that their opinion is wrong and why this opinion preponderates. And I think that's what it is. It's just infantile and it's just ego. I think what's more important is to show that, okay, look, sure, you understand this based on this, sure. And here's another way to understand this based on this, that there is a beauty in that sure, that, and if this helps you, you want to understand this in this particular way and it helps you, then more power to you. And if this helps someone, then more power to them. It's not, and I think that's been where it's been change. So it's not that I would feel that like maybe I would just explain things differently. I think when asked about them, I would like to believe with some, even if it's an ounce more maturity, I would like to believe, in a slightly more mature way. But yeah, that's what it is. Also, where there has been change, there's been change in me coming to appreciate and embrace the mystical. I think that part I didn't embrace before. And so that has happened drastically. So I've started to, and to me, the mystical is not anti-rational. It's just that it's not about, but it's not anti-reason, but it's just that it's not about reason. It's about experience. So I've started to really embrace that, the mystical, and I think that's something I didn't before. And so there is a huge difference on my, so that's an actual like a movement of my position. Like I've moved away from this was a dry just experience of just everything being logical, rational reason, to it still is, there is still the value for the voice of reason, and obviously that there must be, because things must be based on reason, but also a recognition that people are at different stages, but then embracing that there are things that it's not that they're anti-reason, but they're not about reason, they're about experience. And acknowledging that, and in fact at the heart of the deen, and this is another change as well, a move, I would say, that I've come to understand that at the heart of the faith, it is about the sacred and about devotion, which once again are linked to experience, ain't they, as opposed to being linked to reason. So I feel that reason is what will guide you along the way. As to if you come across charlatans, or you come across, it will tell you what is not that. But to actually tell you what is that must just be experience, not like you experience it and taste it. Like I can't tell you what an apple tastes like. I can just guide you to what is not an apple. That's the reason, saying, well, that's not an apple. But when you get it, ultimately you have to experience it. So I think that's where, so there has been some movement in positions, but not necessarily on those things that you're saying, but just on a holistic approach. Yeah.
Am I sensing a hint of maybe revisiting those in new videos in the future on those topics with your new
I feel that
profound
I'm
memory?
yeah, I feel that I should, and I will at some point make I will take apart certain things, revisit them, explain them, and yeah, I feel that there is and maybe it will be actually much better received, because it's not that the positions it just kind of celebrates it in a much more holistic way. So I feel that yeah, you're right, and that has been it, on the back burner in my mind, that I will at some point, because people ask me things, people say, oh, but Mufti, these miracles, well, if you say there's always a natural mechanism, then how do people understand God and angels and all these things, and is everything, and I feel that people don't grasp the entirety of what's being said, and so these things need an explanation, they need a video, I guess, or a detailed, that there is, you see, there are things that, simply put, that what it comes down to is Allah has created a world, and in it, once he created within it, from Allah, laws that operate, like the laws of physics and the laws of thermodynamics and the laws of, and these things are placed there by Allah. So when miraculous events happen, there's different ways to understand them. One is to say, well, obviously, however they happen, we don't understand, but it would have still been using the same laws of creation that Allah created, except it happened in a way that would seldom come together normally, but in this situation, it came together. And that is still relying, like Allah would, for that, use naturalistic mechanisms behind the works that but they just seldom come together in that way. Or it's saying that no, this just violated all laws of nature and Allah chose to, and that's a way that some people see it. So going over this in some detail, I guess, at some point, yeah, why not,
Yeah,
I will have to start. Yeah, I'm seeing that time is of the essence as well, and I do have to wrap up as well. But yeah, saying shukran. Sorry for I'm just thinking, I'm running tight on time. Yeah, really,
that's
really
fine.
tight.
If all I wanted to was just suggest, a revisit of them, and because
No,
I
I
think
think
that would
that
be
no,
so
I think that's
beneficial, honestly.
yeah. You think mainly on things like, before you go on, just those things like the second coming of Jesus, the Dajjal, these things, miracles, is that what you mean? And yeah.
I think they're the hot topics and yeah, they're probably the best
Yeah.
ones to
Sure,
re-go over.
sure,
You
sure.
know, in the Al-Bukhari and Farabri, in the Al-Farabri,
The Bukhari Gate as
and
well.
you know,
Bukhari Gate as well. Yeah,
only
that
because
would
in the
be.
English language, it's very hard to find information on
Yeah,
that. You know,
yeah,
I felt like it was near impossible, honestly. Besides
yeah,
your videos and and whatnot, there's nothing
yeah.
in the English
I
language.
will, inshallah. I hope to. Yeah, let's do that some point. You know, to kind of do it in a more harmonious kind of spirit as well. I mean, Allah bless you,
Inshallah.
Hussein. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. People, Hussein from down under. Vah, vah. Love it. With some very useful suggestions, which I 100% do take on board. You know, Wilkins, let's get on Wilkins. We're going to have to wrap this up then. Assalamu alaikum,
Oh,
Wilkins.
Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam.
How are you
Yes.
keeping?
I'm keeping very well. I'm keeping very well. I don't want to take your time because I know it's like Fedra or something.
Where are you right now? What part of the
In the
world?
Philippines. In the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines. But...
Our very own Ibn Battuta.
yeah. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say, what chaos are you causing in the Philippines?
not much. It's...
Allah.
but no, I mean, I've been settling down. I got married. I have a baby.
Whoa!
So
you got married. Yes, salam. Mabruk. Allah. Allah. From the Philippines or from a different country?
No, in the Philippines, from the Philippines, yeah.
In the Philippines, from of the people, for the people, by the people. I like it. Vast. Okay, so right now, is this recent? The marriage?
The marriage. Yeah, the marriage. Yeah, it was in December of last year.
Oh, right. So, okay, so we're still in the honeymoon phase. All right.
Sure, I guess so. Yeah.
Look at the reluctance. He's like, honeymoon. I'm already fed up of this. You know what? Blink twice if you need us to rescue you. Okay. That's move in. The asset has been compromised. Move in. Right.
Okay,
so
that's great. I mean, so obviously we have to do a mind trap, but I guess after Ramadan,
we do. Yeah. You know what? I keep messaging you, and I'm so looking forward to it as well. But I feel sometimes that, you know, the amount of laughs we're gonna have, the only problem is it's got to be out of the spirit of Ramadan, because people will wake up at sahur time and they'll be like, let's play something so insightful, and then there we are, one my laughter, one your laughter. People will be like, what has happened? I thought the shayateen were locked up. They'll be like, they missed two of them. I see.
Talk to me. We definitely have to do it. I mean, there's a couple of points I wanted to maybe ask, right? Maybe I'll ask a question and then I'll finish on a point. Yeah. Sure. Right. Yeah. So the first question is, well, I'm married, as you know, but my wife is Christian, and of course I want to.
It's Christian. Interfaith marriage.
Right. But I want to.
Surah Ma'idah, practicing that verse. Acting upon some verses of the Quran. But brother, when will you act upon the other verses? What about the standing in prayer in Tahajjud? Why is it only these verses?
You know, but like you said, like we're on a journey, you know. So, and you know, to add to that, you know, I do notice even in myself that, you know, there is a contraction and expansion of our faith.
Okay, whoa. I think this is we got to keep it PG.
Yeah. But
No, I'm joking.
but,
That
but
wasn't
you know,
that wasn't a euphemism or a metaphor that you were speaking about there.
Right, no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
see, you
talk about
missed
Iman,
it.
like,
See, you missed it. Yeah, it's too early. The time of it, because you're saying contraction and expansion, and I was like, I don't know what kind of metaphor you're going into. But
you have to get your mind after the gutter. Mufti, you have to.
My mind is in the stars. I'm talking about spiritual expansion. What are you speaking about? Tawbah. Spiritual expansion. This blessed month.
There's a time when it's easier to stand up for tahajjud, right? And then there's a time when it isn't, right? And so
I'm just gonna zip. Just zip this and just be like, So, yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, do proceed, please.
So there is definitely that, and I think like when we're in that contraction phase of the iman, not to worry about it, because like you mentioned, there's gonna come a time when you feel it feels lighter, you feel like you're being pulled towards the khayrat, you feel like you're being pulled towards it rather than actively trying to run after it, and you don't feel like doing it, but so there's a time, and I think really what it's about is that, like, maybe to repurpose that side to put, there's a moment for that, a moment for this. I think there are times in your life where you have to concentrate on certain things, right? There's a time when you need to concentrate on your spirituality. There's a time when you need to concentrate on your family. There's a time when you need to concentrate on your career, isn't there? Right. So, so there's a time. Obviously, in Ramadan, we try to come back to the religion, right? Yeah. But anyways, coming back,
you're already in it. You're already in it. You try to elevate spiritually. Allah. You've completed, as people would say, look, you've completed half of your iman as it is. They say marriage. Yeah. See, you don't seem so excited about this marriage thing. Guys, assemble. We got to put together a SWAT, an extraction team. We're heading over to Manila in the Philippines. I think you just froze.
Anyways, because I want to raise. Am I?
But no, you're back. You're back.
Yeah,
you're back. I think it might be the missus, playing around with the with the internet, trying to disconnect you.
So here's a question. Here's a quick question. Well, obviously, I want to raise my children as Muslims. I know. When the baby is born, it's sunnah, of course, to do
for a baby to be born
in the ears.
Oh, okay. I thought you said when the baby is born, it's sunnah. I thought, okay, it's sunnah. I don't know how we arrived at that understanding, but okay.
Anyways, all right. So like the
adhan and the okay. Yeah.
Because I've never done it before, so
sure. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful symbol of Islam. These things are they're like rites of passage. They're like ritual, symbolic things, which I think it's beautiful. It captures a family spirit. It captures that a child is born and then you give the adhan. At least some people say iqama as well, but at least the adhan, you just. And I find that very beautiful. I would definitely highly encourage highly that you do that. Yeah.
And then how about since my wife is Christian, and if they want to baptize
then give the other adhan in her ear. So you give two adhans. You give one in the baby's ear and one in her ear. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So, okay.
But then how about baptism? You know, what do you think about that? Yeah. Should the baby?
No, if she's Christian. So what if she's Christian? I mean, you can still do the adhan. It's not a.
No, I'm not talking about the adhan. I'm talking about the baby being baptized. Yeah.
Oh, being baptized. You know, in the baby's other ear, read the verse that. Oh, what is it? You know that. وَلَا تَقُولُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. Cannot say that God is one of the Trinity. Read that verse in the other ear. Say, shh. وَلَا تَقُولُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, baptism. Oof. That's a tricky one, isn't it? Ooh, it's going to be baptized.
My position on that one is.
Yeah, what's your position?
That I wouldn't do it. Yeah, that I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, because that's how I would see it as very. You see, because the general teaching is that the child is brought up on Islam. This is the general teaching
that's my intention anyway. Yeah,
and that the child is brought up on Islam. And that said, so this is why they said that they allowed it, because the societies were patriarchal and the father would get his way. And therefore, he would be allowed to bring the child up on Islam. Now, that said, Imam Malik did say that, and Imam Ahmad as well, that because the children spend more time, especially in the infancy, at home with the mother, whilst the dad's gone out on excursions and trade and, you know, whatever it is, agriculture, or so. They said it's difficult to stop the other faith habits. So they said it's very likely that the mother will always be teaching, because she'll still be a Christian, so the child will end up picking up these kind of traits and qualities, because according to Imam Malik, and they're very clear that you can't force your religion on that woman. She still remains herself, and she practices. So this is why they weren't too fond of these kind of relationships, because they felt that it just because of the challenges involved. But that said, from the faith perspective, you see, the father being a Muslim, you would bring the child up a Muslim as a father. Now that said, that's how I would see it. That's how most Muslims see it. That said, they do acknowledge that maybe the mother is also in her time bringing him up or her up Christian as well, because you wouldn't even be there. I don't know what that means, but because you're not around, especially in the past, people weren't around for a lot longer periods of time. You know, they were gone for half a year to a different part of the world to trade and come back, and so a lot of so that influence is inevitable and at times unavoidable. But the ideal perspective that the father was going from was that the child, they were to bring them up Muslim. But it's not. But let's say that. But let's say the mother baptized the child. Like, let's say you're bringing them up Muslim. Like here, Mark has just said, look, I forgot to say I was baptized. But look, if the mother does these things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cancel the Islam or anything. You just carry on with it. Like, she's a Christian, she'll probably do certain things when you're, from her faith with the child, because they're her children as well. But from your side, you will have this, that this is how the child is, and the general understanding that you will teach the child certain things and they will understand as they grow up. But it's a very complex, we could maybe speak about this as well when we do our mind trap.
Absolutely.
And we've got here Lucy also saying, I was also baptized. All right, so there you go. So we've got a few people on here. Allah bless them all. These are all Muslims, by the way. So
I know.
All right. Well, all right. Awesome to know, Wilkins. So wow. So I see. You know what? We'll have to wrap this up. But this has been epic.
Yeah.
I love the fact you brought us up to speed with your marriage in the Philippines. I like the quite a bit of an. We've got to find out about the whole adventure that led to that, and the one that finally trapped Ibn. Did I say trapped? Toba Toba. That kind of rooted Ibn Battuta in the Philippines. All right. Just look at that smile, people, on his face from ear to ear. This is see, there's going to be a sudden influx of people traveling to the Philippines now, thinking that there's some kind of happiness that you've kind of locked into.
There's a lot of happiness here if you can find someone. Definitely. You know.
Allah. See, Wilkins, you bring the happiness with you. That's what you do. Allah. Right. So all right. We'll have to wrap this up. People, it's awesome, just being online, but we're getting terribly late. Take very good care of yourselves. Wilkinson, let's catch up. Drop me another message and we will continue on WhatsApp. But speak soon. Much love. All right. Assalamu alaikum, people. Wilkinson, our beloved, who we've got to do Mind Trap with. Right, we've got a right. Al Mankuni, much love for your super chat. Allah bless you. Great to see you online. Quick question. Say a little about the difference between what about Satan and Iblis? Ask God to protect us from Satan after our intention for Salah. Right, I have actually got a video about this. Do check it out. I do go into some detail. Iblis is most likely the term in reference to the Greek diabolos, but it's referring to the same entity, Shaitan, Iblis, Satan. These are all just synonym terms, but do check out my video. I do a lot more justice there. Guys, it's been a pleasure. If you do want to reach out to me, Instagram is the place. I do like my stuff. Leave a comment. I do read your comments, guys. I really enjoy them, your feedback. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Do subscribe to my emailing list. Go to muftiabulayth.com. You can sign up for the ebook and that will subscribe you automatically. So muftiabulayth.com. And if you need a one-to-one consultation for in-depth discussions on things or what I call perspective sessions, head over to patreon.com/Malm. And what you can do, I'll see if there's, nope, it doesn't come up here. And you can just sign up there. It allows you to schedule you into to our consultation, and we can have that. I really do enjoy that. That also gives you, there's other tiers as well. That's tier 2. The other tiers do just allow access to the Discord server. But you can explore that on patreon.com/Malm. People, Allah bless you all. Salamullahi alaikum. Much love. I hope you're enjoying my quick 60-second series on the Quran, overview in 60 seconds. Do like that. Spread some love, people. Allah bless you all. Salamullahi alaikum wa khuda hafiz.